Series, talk about your race car, because it is pretty darn fast.
It's not bad. We worked on it a lot through practice, started off loose end, and now we got that fixed, but now I'm tight in the center. So little GameStop crew's working on it here. We'll get it. That was a qualifying run there. That was it's pretty decent. Probably had a little bit more in it as far as the driver had a little more in it, but we'll work on that a little bit more, and we'll work on our race runs a little bit next practice and see what we got.
All right, well, Joey was busy talking to Doug Hewitt, his crew chief here in the Nationwide Garage. Greg Zipadelli also made his way over here and will be his crew chief next year in the Cup Series. Greg, what kind of advice were you giving Joey? Because we saw you talking quite a bit.
I was just listening to him talking about how, what his car was doing. I just talked to Doug, and he just asked me to come over when I had a chance to see what was going on and if I had anything to add. And, if there's anything that we can learn for tomorrow for ourselves and Sunday night. Just kind of curious where his car was, and then today and how much it'll change, tomorrow night as it cools off.
All right, and Larry Mack and Jeff Hammond would like a Subway shirt. Can we send them some to the booth, because they really like them?
Yeah, we'll work on that.
All right, thanks, Greg.
Nice and colorful. I like that.
Yeah. You can't miss those Subway guys in the Cup Garage, I tell you.
Well, we're definitely colorful, Larry. So, they'd fit our personality.
But, we're saying so much about he's never seen this racetrack. When you look at his 10 starts this year, there's a lot of those racetracks he had never been on. You look back at Michigan. Yeah, he did an ARCA test up there one time, but 2 weeks ago at Michigan, he qualified 6th and finished 7th up there.
But Larry, when a guy comes to the racetrack, and again, we were laughing about it, and he's asking, the competition director, Joe Balish, how do you get out of the garage area, out on the racetrack? How do you go find, where's the bathrooms at? It's like the kid is really trying to figure out his way around here, and it's just funny to watch somebody for the first time to come to a new facility like this.
See Kenny Wallace here in the 28 car. It's been a rough month for NASCAR for the Nationwide Series. Team manager Kenneth Campbell, who's actually been the acting crew chief for Kenny Wallace over the last month in this 28 car. He passed away last night. He'd been sick for about a month, and so he passed away. So certainly our thoughts and our prayers are with the family and friends and with this race team. As they're racing with very heavy hearts. They'll be running decals. You see it right there on the C post behind the quarter window, and memorializing Kenneth Campbell. Kenneth has been around for a number of years.
Over 25 years.
He worked with Mike Laughlin, who was a premier chassis builder in the Sprint Cup Series and the Nationwide Series garage. And
worked with
one of those,
Scott Jones.
Yeah, one of those just quiet guys that was just a good, down-to-earth racer. He certainly will be missed in that garage.
Who's behind a wife and 2 kids. So our condolences to Kenneth Campbell's family. Well, Joey Logano is going to wrap up this practice as the quickest. 22 laps for Logano in the 20 car. We're just not going to leave yet. We're going to stick around and do more qualifying for the NASCAR Sprint Cup.
Can't make me leave. I'm not going anywhere.
It moves, we're going to cover.
That's right.
But look at a youngster right there. So impressive, Joey Logano.
See David Strimmy, we talked to him up there in the top 10. Brad Keselowski, we talked to him second in the points right now. He's 25th quickest in this practice session.
Red and black flag display. That's it for the NASCAR Nationwide Series practice, but not for us. More coming your way here on Speed.
Built in the mid-90s, this Sunday will be the 17th Cup race at the Auto Club Speedway here in sunny Southern California. The temperature is climbing slowly today, but it's certainly not as hot as it was this time last year. Temperatures in the upper 90s still, though, are putting drivers and crews to the test as we are getting ready for Sprint Cup qualifying and a very vital qualifying session when it comes to pit selection and track position for those who are running for the championship in NASCAR's Premier Series. Welcome once again to the Speed Stage, everyone. I'm John Roberts. Got a lot still to come today. Cup qualifying is coming up in just a moment. 44 cars will go for 43 positions. Right now, here is the menu. Only a couple of tidbits left on there, but they are tasty ones. Sprint Cup qualifying is next in a matter of just a couple of moments. The Nationwide final practice will be right after that. Trackside at Fontana features David Reagan as he tries to make his way into the Sprint Cup chase for the championship. Right now, we're going to go back inside the racetrack where the work continues and check in with Hermie Sadler, see what's going on in there. What's happening, Hermie?
Catching up with Brian Vickers, getting ready for Sprint Cup qualifying. This is your kind of a racetrack, Brian. You guys have been close, top five, and you've become kind of disappointed with top fives. What have you got to do to get this thing in victory lane?
I tell you, it's great that we can even attempt to be disappointed with the top five. I mean, we're really proud of this team. And at the end of the day, really proud of everybody at Red Bull and Toyota and what we've accomplished. And we are proud to be able to finish 5th or 7th or where it is. But when you have a car you think you can win with and you've come so close to winning, you haven't won, you're disappointed when you don't.
What is it about this car and you that you adapt to these kind of racetracks so good?
I'm not sure, this has historically been a good place for me. I mean, I haven't always run good here, but, typically do run pretty well. This is the mile and a half, 2 mile racetracks is what we focused on as a company to be really good at last year. As a company that we felt like that was our first step because there's the most of these tracks. And now we're in the process of trying to get better at the short tracks, and we are getting better, but we're not as good as we'd like to be.
A lot of fans want to say this is like Michigan and drive something similar to Michigan, but not as much banking here, so it doesn't drive exactly like Michigan.
No, it doesn't. As you know yourself, I mean, they are similar, but they're not the same. This track, like you said, doesn't have as much banking, but also I find that the straightaways, I don't know what the exact dimensions are, but it seems to me that the straightaways are longer and the corners are a little bit tighter, whereas Michigan, the straightaways are shorter, it's kind of pushed apart, and the corners are a little bit more sweeping. So here you find yourself fighting the tight in the center a lot more than you do in Michigan.
JR, Brian Vickers, one of the guys that could be a factor for the pole, but certainly should be a factor Sunday night. He loves these racetracks.
Hermie, thanks a lot. Matt Kenseth from the Roush Fenway Racing stable averages a top 10 finish here at California, so he's got to enjoy coming to this racetrack. Let's go to Randy Pemberton.
Thanks, Matt Kenseth, sitting on the wall here talking with crew chief Jimmy Finnick of David Reagan's car. And Matt, I know it's a little sloppy out there, tough to get the handle on it. What do you think about qualifying? What are you going to do here?
A little sloppy out there?
Well, a little slick, a little sloppy, kind of like the old days.
All right. I don't know. We were a little too loose in our couple qualifying runs that we made. We had a couple problems with the car today and got it sorted out a little bit. So we just tightened up some more and go out there and hope for the best. It's kind of the same for the first 15 or 20 of us anyway, and just get the best we can out of today and try to get to drive good tomorrow.
For what you see, though, will you have to qualify up front to run well here and get a good finish out of this, or not necessarily?
I hope not. I never have before, and we've been able to do okay. So it's a really wide racetrack. You can pass really well here. One of the better tracks we can pass at a lot like Michigan. So the key is to get your car running fast in the race trim. Obviously, you want to qualify the best you can to hopefully get some bonus points and lead and get a good pit selection and do all that stuff. But it's really about getting your car running good for the race. If you have the best or one of the best handling cars in the race, 500 miles is plenty of time to get to the front.
Okay, thanks, Matt. Good luck qualifying into the race. Matt Kenseth looking to make his 14th start here on Sunday. JR?
And Randy, that 14 is also a significant number. 14 is the number of wins that Jack Roush Racing has here in NASCAR's 2 Top Series at the Auto Club Speedway. So Roush Fenway Racing certainly knows how to get it done here. And it all starts with qualifying. And being that qualifying is a very big event, we have some special pre-qualifying ceremonies coming up today to just to kick off the day in the right way and also to get these guys qualified and set the field for this Sunday's race. Let's go trackside.
Thank you, Gillian. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats as the Centurion Battalion Accession Task Force, California Army National Guard, presents our nation's colors. And please welcome Jeff Hamilton from Motor Racing Outreach as he offers today's invocation.
As we pray today, we'd like to remember the family of racing legend Phil Hill, who passed away on Thursday. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the grace and hope that you've given to us that sustains us day to day. We also thank you for your protection that will be over the drivers and the teams today as they race and as we would enjoy the competition today. Amen.
And now will you please remain standing and welcome Marielle as she performs our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes
Race fans, let's hear it for Marielle with a little help from the F-18s out of Lemoore Naval Air Station.
Well, that certainly gives qualifying a race-like feeling here, and qualifying is a bit of a race within itself. Track position and pit selection are all on the line today as we get ready to set the field for Sunday's race. Sprint Cup qualifying coming up.
Sunday, NASCAR race day cruises into California with only 2 races before the checks. A new rivalry steals the spotlight. NASCAR race day, built by the Home Depot. Live coverage begins Sunday, 5 Eastern. NASCAR on speed. Be there.
He's picking up. Hello? Hi, Ryan. It's Chad.
Hey, Chad.
You know how we hooked it up so there's a circle for everyone?
Yeah, I chose the 20. It's sweet.
Well, we're canceling it.
But Chad, everyone on the team loves my circle.
Whatever. You should probably just switch to one of the other guys.
Why spend more than you have to? Choose the circle that fits you best, and now add unlimited messaging to your circle with the new My Circle message pack, only from Alto Wireless.
Brian, we can't just leave him there.
Yes, we can.
Rated everywhere.
Listen up, fantasy freaks. You're watching the Colts Pats while your man Jamal Lewis just scored 4 touchdowns. And I'll bet you didn't know. With DirecTV, you're alerted anytime your fantasy players score.
Track your fantasy players in real time, only on DirecTV.
Flush out the old, pour in the new. Get Advance Auto Parts 50/50 antifreeze for just $6.98 a gallon. Sale ends August 30th. So whatever you're working on, Advance will help you keep the wheels turning.
No driver ever won a race without help.
No owner ever won a championship without a great team.
Now the NASCAR Foundation needs help from its greatest team member, you.
On September 11th, we're inviting all race fans to the track to support the NASCAR Foundation's annual Blood and Marrow Drive.
Donate blood and sign up for the National Marrow Donor Program Registry.
Help us earn the greatest victory of all.
Saving a life.
For more information, visit NASCAR.com/foundation.
Kevin Harvick, the first driver on the track here at the Auto Club Speedway for NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying. 44 teams here for 43 positions. Steve Burns, Larry McReynolds, Jeff Hammond atop the Auto Club Speedway.
And I got news for you right now, Mr. McReynolds. I am so glad that I'm up here instead of where Kevin Harvick is right now. Pretty decent in that first practice. Didn't run a lot in the nationwide practice, but being the first car on the racetrack, woe be unto him.
She'll be a little bit slick. Now, Kevin, he is racing the Nationwide Series car here this weekend, so it hadn't been that long since he was on the racetrack. So he kind of knows how much grip the racetrack has given up, but it's been a while since he's been out there in this 29 car now. 2 laps of qualifying like every single week, but I would anticipate, especially our top 35 guys that are locked in, they will probably, for the most part, be one and done. The tires lose grip on the second lap, plus it's going to get pretty warm considering how hot the weather is here, and that you put a lot of tape on the nose of that thing to gain maximum downforce and drag reduction on the straightaway.
I think we saw during that first practice a lot of guys who elected to run a second lap, they were losing up to half a second between the first lap and the second lap. So I'm a lot like you, Larry. I just don't look for these guys to go a whole lot faster on a second lap, and nowhere near as fast as he ran in practice.
Kevin Harvick has finished in the top 10 in 5 of the last 6 NASCAR Sprint Cup races. One of the California natives, Bakersfield, is home for Kevin Harvick.
Kevin slowed down about 2/10 from what he ran, Jeff.
Yes, he did. And that doesn't really surprise me. Here's another car we're going to get an opportunity to kind of gauge off of. Our old buddy, Elliott Sadler. Now, he was fast in that first practice session. As a matter of fact, he was 4th quickest. And I noticed right there, Elliott may have been doing a little bit of a psychological type of an approach coming off of pit road, kind of taking it easy on his tires through 1 and 2. Now trying to gain that momentum, because we always talk about you've got to have the momentum coming through 3 and 4 when you get back here to the start finish line. So to see if his kind of strategy pays off for him.
Speaking of fast, the quickest in the first practice, which was an hour and a half, was Carl Edwards, the winner of 3 of the last 4 Sprint Cup races.
And we have 44 cars here, so we will only send 1 car home from here.
Out of it early, see if he can pick the throttle back up. Right now he's on a pole run if he can get up off of turn 2 and down the back straightaway.
Yeah, he's going to be quite a bit quicker than Kevin Harvick. You can see pushing toward 4/10 quicker. Now, Elliott got a win here driving for Robert Yates Racing back in the fall of 2004. Led 59 laps to get that win here about 4 years ago. Yeah, this is going to be an awfully good lap for Elliott Sadler. He ran a 40.49 in practice. Looks like he may be pretty close to what he ran in practice, 40.33. So he actually picks it up about a 1/10 and a half.
Now, good job right there by Elliott Sadler.
This is that car that they've had so much luck with here lately. It finished 4th at Indy about a month ago and in 9th at Michigan a couple of weeks ago.
Following Elliott Sadler, we have Bobby Labonte, Robbie Gordon, David Reagan, and Brian Vickers.
I just hope he remembers to bring the hamburgers tonight. I mean, you know, it's going to get a little bit hungry later on.
At least a coupon or something.
Yeah, maybe an apple pie.
Something.
Yeah.
Now, the Petty cars really struggled in practice. Bobby Labonte was only 34th quickest, and then his teammate in the 45 car for the 2nd week in a row, Kyle Petty, was 42nd quickest. So those 2 cars kind of struggling in the hour and a half practice we had earlier today.
Labonte 22nd in NASCAR Sprint Cup Series points.
Bobby got the pole here back in 2001.
You know, we were down there talking to Robbie Loomis earlier today, and he said they've been doing an awful lot of testing with Petty Enterprises with Chad McCumbee and Bobby Labonte doing a lot of that. And where they said they came from, was it Kentucky Speedway this past week?
I think that's where they had been. The amount of testing, and then Robbie was talking to Jeff about this, the amount of testing that teams are doing right now is unbelievable. Robbie shared with us that the 24 car is back going to Kentucky. And Jeff Gordon has been doing that test. And that's something that Jeff Gordon does not do a whole lot of, is this testing at places like Kentucky, Nashville, Iowa. So like Robbie said, you know teams are pretty serious about their testing when Jeff Gordon goes off to Kentucky.
Good pickup right here by Bobby Labonte over what he had practiced at. Jumps up to 2nd quickest now, but the thing I'm looking at is how much speed this guy has put back into his race car compared to what he practiced at. I mean, a lot faster, almost a half a second.
So Labonte, 2nd quick of 3 drivers. Kyle Busch getting ready for his qualifying attempt. He goes out 8th. Stay with us here at the Auto Club Speedway.
This Thursday on an all-new Wrecked, when trouble strikes.
It's going to be for a rollover tractor trailer. It's fully loaded.
Go, go! It hits hard.
We flip 2 rotators. We're screwed.
It went from an easy call to a complicated call real quick. I should be able to handle anything.
The load feels heavier than what they said it was. The truck is not working.
Wrecked, life and left freshly. An all-new episode, Thursday night, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. Exclusively on Stream.
The hotter the hot. The colder the cold. The greater the demand. The more you need Duralast. Batteries built to exceed the need. Batteries built to meet or exceed original equipment standards for cold cranking amps. Batteries built with the power to hold up to heavy electrical demands. Batteries so good they come with a coast-to-coast warranty. Only at AutoZone.
Implanted defibrillators are connected to the heart by small wires called leads. The FDA has issued a Class 1 recall for specific leads manufactured by Medtronic between 2004 and 2007. These wires have the potential to fracture and cause unnecessary shocks to your heart or prevent the device from working at all. If you believe these recalled leads may be connected to your defibrillator, call now for information about this recall and your legal rights.
Call 800-929-0326 for a free case evaluation.
Quicker, faster, better, cheaper. Okay, we're going in.
We're in big trouble.
To gut and remodel and add on a whole house?
It's gonna be crazy.
Watch it now or anytime on demand at Channel 888 under Home and Garden.
Presentation of NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying from California is brought to you by Advanced Auto Parts. Keep the wheels turning. And by Bank of America, the official bank of NASCAR, where you can get a choice of NASCAR drivers featured on your chip cards and debit cards. Robbie Gordon on the racetrack. Let's go to our buddy Randy Pemberton.
Clint Boyer climbing aboard the Jack Daniels Chevy. We'll get a quick word with him as we get ready to go out. Hey, Clint, everybody talking about how slick this is, and what are your thoughts about how important it is to get a good qualifying effort? You weren't that quick in practice as far as the sheet goes.
Gee, thanks. No, we are struggling a little bit. We've been struggling these big tracks. This is a really important lap for us, so we need to get a good run in here. Learn a little bit from Harvick. Said he got in a little bit too hard, so just try to back the corner up a little bit, and it's slick, but it's the same for everybody, so hopefully we'll get a good lap in.
Okay, good luck to you. Back upstairs.
Well, Randy, this is the 17th NASCAR Sprint Cup event at the Auto Club Speedway. Surprisingly, it has never been won from the pole position.
Wow. Robbie Gordon, I don't think he's going to be real happy with that lap, even though he picked up a little bit from practice. He's fourth quickest, did not get down in the 42nd bracket. Good to see a little bit of signage on that car, Monster Energy drink. They do a lot of sponsoring of Robbie's off-road race programs and on his cup car for a few races this year.
Hammond, I thought I had a little nugget there. I said the race would never be won from the pole, and Larry went, oh, wow.
Now, I was kind of like, I was really surprised and was going to make a comment about it, but he was, really kind of focused in on the Monster Energy drink.
I thought I had a nugget.
You did. That's a very big nut, because most of the time it's just the opposite. Any other racetrack you go to, you like, there's a lot of races one from the pole or the front row, and Larry, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. Just relax now. Just calm down there, buddy.
I just was trying to put a period on Robbie Gordon's qualifying run that he did not run in the 42nd bracket.
And you did a very good job of that.
And I think I'd actually mentioned that earlier in the show about nobody had ever won a race from the pole.
You did during the practice session. You did. I remember that. But this is not the practice session. It's about 2 hours or 3 hours, or how many hours we've been up here later?
A while.
But I was going to make note of interesting little, tidbit that Kevin Harvick was able to share with Clint Boyer. We've seen you cannot overdrive these corners. You've got to back it up a little bit earlier and try to make, the exit is really where you want to focus in on how much it can hurt you. So right now, I think that's really important. And for David Reagan, who is right in the thick of things when it comes to this chase, pretty good lap there for him.
Second quick, and Jeff, as you said, just 12 points behind 12th place.
You know what's interesting about what Kevin Harvick told Clint Boyer about overdriving the entrance? What car did he just get out of just a little bit ago?
Let me think. Oh, a Nationwide car that you like to drive off in the middle of the corner just as hard as you can and pick it up real quick because it doesn't have much horsepower.
And I think that's one reason we actually only have 13 drivers here attempting to double duty.
In other words, it doesn't benefit them that much to run both.
Other than just get a feel for the racetrack and what the racetrack's going to do over the course of the race, there's just not much you can transfer over. And I think the real downside is just going from Nationwide Series practice to Sprint Cup Series qualifying.
Brian Vickers in the number 83 Red Bull Toyota.
He was pretty quick in practice. He was fifth quickest a little bit earlier at a 40.50. David Reagan, isn't that coincidental that David Reagan and Brian Vickers are going back-to-back? That will be our two guests that come out and hang out with us on our little trackside Friday night party at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time a little bit later on.
Brian Vickers on the pole at Michigan, a similar racetrack, although I think a lot of the drivers will tell you that although they look similar, they aren't. They don't drive in the same fashion.
Apple to an orange, baby.
Brian also got the pole here in the fall of 2004. That was during his rookie season. And he got Toyota's first top 10 finish in the Sprint Cup Series in the spring race a year ago.
Have I mentioned this race has never been won from the pole?
You know what, I did. And that is an amazing stat that
Thank you.
Unbelievable.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you.
You've seen the race. Now find out what really happened. on the only show where the drivers tell the story of how it went down and what's up next this week in NASCAR. Monday night, 8 Eastern, 9 Pacific. NASCAR on Speed. Be there.
If no one else will push us, we will. GSXR.
Rated everyone.
Master of Disguise.
Observe NASCAR driver Elliott Sadler, a master of disguise. Today, Agent Sadler is a guest spotter for Sunoco's Free Fuel 5000. If you get spotted near Sunoco with our decal on your car, you win free fuel instantly. But the thing is,
I'm moving in.
You never know when we'll be watching. Get your decal at Sunoco. Get spotted, win free fuel, and a chance at 5,000 gallons. The Free Fuel 5000 right now at Sunoco.
Carl Edwards battled his way to a win in Bristol. Sunday, NASCAR Race Day cruises into California.
NASCAR goes Hollywood,
where one free race show is on top of it all.
It's going to be a big night.
As the race to the chase hits 2 to go.
Someone has to mess up for someone to get back in.
They can't falter. And a new rivalry steals the spotlight.
Everybody is getting goosebumps.
NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot. Live coverage begins Sunday, 5 Eastern. NASCAR on Speed. Be there.
Brian Vickers, second overall. He's behind Elliott Sadler. Meanwhile, Matt Kenseth in the 17-car Bandits. He had a lot of success here at the Auto Club Speedway.
They really dodged a huge bullet last week. They did not have a very good race car. Actually, Wendy Venturini and myself covered this car on NASCAR Hot Pass on DirecTV. He ended up finishing 9th. But it was a very tough ninth place finish, but he needed to do that because now he sits 10th in the points, but only 78 points in front of his teammate, David Reagan.
Kenseth, a two-time winner here in the Sprint Cup Series competition. Been in the top 10, 9 of his 13 appearances.
So last time he went to Victory Lane was the spring race of 2007.
He's not going to be real happy with this here, I don't think.
No, 41.05, the slowest of the 7 cars that have qualified, and as everybody else has done, he'll shut her down after lap 1.
Let's go back to Randy.
Thanks, Steve. Paul Menard sitting here. We'll get a quick word with him. I know you're trying to get focused, Paul, but I know you like this racetrack as well. 20th quick in practice. What do you think about getting ready to qualify here?
Well, track's obviously really slick, and it slowed down quite a bit from when we were here in the spring, but you know, the car's driving pretty decent, a little bit tight, but biggest thing is just hit all your marks and control the slide as best as you can. So it's going to be interesting.
Okay, that's Paul Menard. Let me just say one more thing about Paul Menard. You know, we are out here in Hollywood, and he had an opportunity to visit it with CSI Miami the other day, and he loves that show. It's his favorite show. Look at the special effects here. Paul standing by, and we have some kind of body there or something, but just thought I'd show you that. That's something Paul Menard is very interested in, is CSI Miami. Wendy?
Talking about Hollywood, we have Brian Vickers with some Hollywood glasses, and you take them off right when I say that. Brian, a good qualifying effort by you.
Yeah, you know, honestly, to be honest with you, we're disappointed in it. I mean, well, we felt like we had a car to go for the pole, and I think we're all kind of scratching our heads right now. I can assure you that I didn't mean to be 6 grooves up going in 1. The splitter was just hitting the racetrack. From the time I pulled out, going on the backstretch through the bumps, we were hitting the track. You know, I went down in turn 1, and as soon as I lifted, it just landed on the splitter and just took off up the racetrack. So I'm really surprised that we ran that time, to be honest with you, 6 grooves up the racetrack. But really proud of the guys. You know, we had a good car in practice and thought we had a shot at the pole. I'm sure whatever happened, we'll figure it out and get it fixed for the race.
All right, Brian Vickers, of course, a little bit disappointed. He sat on the pole here at Auto Club Speedway in 2004.
Wendy, Kyle Busch was just 19 years old when he got his very first pole here at California, and 20 when he won his first Cup Series race. He is second quick of 8 drivers here. Elliott Sadler still the fastest in his Dodge.
You know, and you mentioned Elliott Sadler. I mean, it kind of like, I think, puts an exclamation point on how impressive a lap that really was, because he's picked up the most of anybody since, you know, from the first practice session. And the way he did it, I think, was pretty sneaky. They kind of eased out of the pit road, didn't really hammer down on it, but when he got over turn 3 and 4, had a lot of speed coming to take the green and was able to keep it down on the bottom of the racetrack. So, you know, I think that's a pretty impressive lap. I didn't think it would stand up that well this long, but you know, he might have a little bit of an opportunity maybe to wind up on the front row before it's all said and done.
Sneaky, the old sneaky trick.
Just got to sneak up on him.
Did you see that little sneaky move by the 31 car? He bobbled right in the middle of the corner. We've been seeing, what, Scary and Nasty and what was
Snappy.
it? Snappy.
Darty.
I think that was a little bit darty with him.
But he really got off turn 2 good, and you could see he kept gaining going down the back straightaway. It looked like to me, Jeff, he eased it down into turn 3, trying to pick up the throttle a little quicker in the middle of 3 and 4. He lost a little ground. Didn't quite gain near as much off turn 4 as he did turn 2, though. He'll be 6th quickest at a 40.74.
Larry, Jeff, this is a monkey see, monkey do sport, but how intently, how closely are the drivers who go out later watching this to see the kind of line that these other drivers are taking around this track?
I think you've got to be paying attention, and if you've got teammates up toward the front right there, you need to be listening to what they're saying. And as we progress through this practice and qualifying session, you want to hear these interviews. You want to hear what the drivers are saying and see how much you can learn from it, because, again, you have a guy like Carl Edwards, who was fast in that first practice session. He's going out late, and Jimmy Johnston, he's about mid-pack. I mean, these guys are the ones you got to watch for if they can take advantage of the track cooling down. And, you know, I'd like to know from Randy and position right now, you know, what the track temperature is, because if it drops 5 degrees, that's a huge benefit to somebody going later.
And Elliott Sadler's on the pole right now. His teammate, Casey Kane, will be the last car to go out of our top 35. So Casey will go fairly late in this session in the 9 car.
Clint Boyer just 12 points to the good with 2 races remaining in the race to the chase. Interesting note, 5th through 11th in points can clinch here at California. However, 7 through 12 could fall out of the top 12. That's how close it is.
And the magic number going into Richmond, assuming that all of these drivers will start that race, and we will certainly assume that that will come to fruition, is 161 points. If you go into Richmond 161 points in front of 13th place, you pretty much know, as long as your starter works next Saturday night, that you will be in the chase for the championship. And if it happens to be a tie, maybe it ought to be 162, just to be safe.
Well, Clint Boyer just wound up finishing his qualifying lap, and I think he listened to Jeff Burton and Kevin Harvick, because he wound up right in between his 2 teammates, 7th quickest, and he picked up over what he practiced, Larry, almost 0.4 of a second. So I think he must have listened by, you know, getting out of the throttle a little bit early.
Let's go down Wendy.
Thanks, guys. Kyle Busch picked up a 10th from his practice session. Kyle, how is that racetrack? Do you think it responded to what you needed to for your race car?
The car was stuck pretty good, actually. The M&M's Toyota was pretty good, so I underdrove it just a little bit, left some out there, but you know, that'll be a good solid run for us, something that should hopefully stay in the top 10. We'll see, but plenty of other guys that I'm sure will be good enough to beat the 19 as well as us. So all in all, I guess we can just go on into practice tomorrow and the race Sunday.
All right, thanks, Kyle. And of course, Kyle does have a pole here at California back in 2005. Randy Pemberton.
Hey, thanks, Wendy. Caught up with Travis Quapple, getting ready to dot the I's, cross the T's, go out there and see what you can do. What do you think about getting ready to qualify? I know you're 28th on the speed chart.
Yeah, that's okay. You know, we're excited we got Hitachi Inspire, the next on there this weekend. It's their parent company from the Power Tools division. So the track is just really, really hot, really slippery. Nothing like it was when we were here in February or when we tested. So, you know, just trying to get some grip in the tires and make it go as fast as we can for 1 lap's the key. We made some changes from where we were in practice. Hopefully they're the right way and get us in the top 20 would be good.
Okay, good luck. You know, I'll tell you one thing about Travis Quapple. He's 23rd in points. He's not that far out of the top 20, and that's something significant for all these guys. Top 20, top 10, certainly the top 12. But one thing about Travis Quapple, you got to look at the percentage of laps completed this year. Do you know he is leading the Sprint Cup Series in percentage of laps completed?
Wow, I did not realize
sure
that.
Is.
Now that's a nugget.
That's a nugget. We get nuggets every week.
And that means you should get excited about it, Larry.
I did.
No, you didn't.
I bet Montoya's pretty excited about that 5th place qualifying run.
I think you'll be happy with it.
Wishes can come true. Daniel met the LA Angels with his cousin Sammy, right?
Make-A-Wish Foundation grants a wish every 40 minutes.
To children with life-threatening medical conditions.
I wanted to go to Wrigley Field. Fox Sports Supports invites you to join our team and support Make-A-Wish Foundation.
There are lots of ways to help, from making a donation to volunteering.
Together, we can bring joy and magic to children who really need both.
Make-A-Wish. Please go to wish.org.
More letters for Denny Hamlin. Christina Jones from Tulsa, Oklahoma writes, "Hey FedEx, with all these trophies Denny wins, what does he do to make room for them?" Well, Christina, he just had a garage sale.
It's beautiful. How can you get rid of it?
It moves too slow.
How much for the slow cooker?
Who wants the slow cooker?
Hey, Denny, what about this?
That thing? I don't want it. Finished 43rd.
Would you like to double, triple, or even quadruple your income and eliminate your credit card debt?
I make $5,000 a month in residual income.
Income is at a 6-figure income. I'll be making over $8,000 a month this month.
Our first month, we made over $3,000 right out of the gate.
Thousands of people are getting started by requesting a free DVD that shows them the way to financial freedom. Like Trina, a soccer mom who started her home-based business part-time and with the help of a mentor made $30,000 the first year and $130,000 the next. Or Brandy, who has now become financially secure and is living the American dream.
The free DVD really opened my eyes.
We made over $18,000 last month.
And there's no experience necessary. Our DVD shows how a mentor works with you to assure your success.
Go to 90yoursuperjob.com and get started today and respond now while this is still a free service. Go to 90yoursuperjob.com. That's 90yoursuperjob.com. 90yoursuperjob.com.
28 years old last week, driving the Menards Dale Earnhardt Incorporated Chevrolet. Elliott Sadler is the fastest of 11 drivers who have qualified.
And we were just getting a report during commercial break from Randy Pemberton that the track temperature is somewhere in the low mid 120s. That's about what it was at the end of that practice session. I know Bob Dylan was down in the garage area. I think he gave us about a 123, 124 number, so not a huge change from practice. The question is, will it cool down as we get toward the tail end of this qualifying session here, as we're now about a fourth of the way through it.
Looks like the clouds are starting to roll in, and watching Paul Menard, he winds up 8th quickest after his qualifying attempt. But Larry, with him, I watched him go off into turn 1, carrying a lot of speed, trying to arc that car off down in there, shot all the way up to a pole time entering the corner, but gave it all back on the exit.
And that's a fine line. I mean, you certainly don't want to give up anything getting in or coming off. But at the end of the day, if you give it up coming off, it's going to go all the way down that back straightaway, and you'll just continue to lose ground.
An announcement was made this week that Reed Sorensen will be leaving Chip Ganassi Racing with Felix Sabates at season's end. He signed a multi-year deal to drive for Gillette Evernham Motorsports, a teammate to Elliott Sadler, Casey Kane, possibly Patrick Carpentier. They're trying to establish a four-team outfit, waiting on sponsorship to see if they can accomplish that.
And you know, guys, this is just one of those deals. This is Reed's 3rd year with this team. I think it's time for a change for Reed, and I think it's time for a change for Chip Ganassi Racing and Felix Sabates. It has not materialized over there. If anything, it's almost deteriorated. You look at this year, 1 top 5 finish, and that was in the Daytona 500 back in February, and only 2 top 10 finishes by this race team. I can see where a change was in order for both groups.
You got to remember, they made a change internally with the crew chiefs, trying to get some energy or some chemistry really working internally, and even that hasn't paid off the dividends I think they were looking for.
And he's got his hands full with this qualifying run right here. He's going to be the slowest of the 13 cars. You could see the shot coming out of soft turn 4. It's like the car wouldn't turn. He just had to snatch the race car to keep her from getting up in the wall. So Donnie Wingo and Reed, they'll have their work cut out for them when the green flag drops Sunday night.
David Gilliland, the next driver out. Let's go back to Randy.
Regan Smith buckling in here. Thought we'd get a quick word with him. Just came off a 14th place finish over there at Bristol. Congratulations on that. Great run, but now you have to switch your mind and set to this qualifying run. What do you think about going out here right now?
I don't really know what I'm going to have out here today. Both our qualifying runs got messed up earlier on. We bottomed out one run, and the other one we never finished. But the guys with the Principal Financial Group Chevy have been doing awesome these past few weeks, and this team's really making a lot of gains and making a lot of progress, and I'm happy about that. And it goes to show a lot of hard work in the shop and by my road crew. So hopefully we'll get another top 10 start.
Good luck. I'll tell you what, they have really done a lot of progress here on this team, and boy, to come out of Bristol with a 14th, that's something special, you guys.
Anytime you can come out of Bristol with a top 15 finish, that's actually considered, I think, a pretty good night. But that was a good run. And Regan leads Sam Hornish Jr. Just barely in the Robestas Rookie of the Year points battle.
Larry David Gilliland has 4 starts here in the Sprint Cup Series. Best start of 14th, best finish of 17th.
He's doing some double duty this weekend. He, like Reed Sorensen, not going to be happy with this qualifying run here. He'll be the slowest of the 14 cars that have qualified, because this is absolutely a home track for David. Came from just down the road, Riverside, California.
Coming up, David Rudiman, Travis Quapple, Jamie McMurray, Jimmy Johnson, Casey Mears getting ready too.
Green flag, green flag, green flag.
Caution, these trucks don't play nice.
They touch!
Hard racing, hard surviving. As an all-out brawl breaks out beneath St. Louis's famous arch.
He'll get spun around.
Warning, objects may be closer than they appear. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Live coverage from Gateway begins September 6, 2 Eastern. NASCAR on speed. Be there. Over 400 drag racers. The biggest crowd ever.
This is it. Somebody here is going home with $10,000.
All new Pigs All Out. Thursday night, 9 Eastern. Exclusively on.
It's Toyota's National Clearance Event. The perfect time to get an amazing deal on a new Camry. With Toyota Camry's low cost of ownership, reputation for legendary quality and reliability, not to mention its remarkably fuel-efficient 31 miles per gallon highway rating. It's no wonder Camry has been the #1 selling car in America for 10 out of the last 11 years. Hurry in. The Toyota National Clearance Event ends soon.
Fishing is war. Who wants to mess with Bill Dugan? Bring it on!
When it comes to competitive bass fishing, it's Bill versus Billy Ray, Bill Engvall, and Billy Ray Cyrus. Bait Shot on DVD September 2nd.
At the Ace Labor Day sale, buy these Ace brand paint supplies on sale through Monday for just $7.99 each and get an extra $3 mail-in rebate on each. Or Ace Royal Paint starting at $19.99 a gallon now with an extra $5 mail-in rebate. Ace, the helpful place.
This is America, and you have the freedom to cheer.
Number 9!
Idolize.
Dale Jr.
Mr. Jeff Gordon.
Celebrate.
Pablo Montoya.
Maybe even get carried away.
Martin Truex Jr., he's the man.
Only Bank of America gives you the freedom to bank with the same kind of passion. With NASCAR banking, your check card, your credit card, your driver. Want to get in on the action? You can with Bank of America. Bank of Opportunity.
David Rudiman qualified second at Bristol. Let's see what he can do here at the Auto Club Speedway, the 2-mile track in Fontana, California, this area known as the Inland Empire. Elliott Sadler with the lap to beat.
David was 23rd quickest. A little different paint scheme on this car. What this is the UPS Store Toys for Tots. It's a new initiative of the Marine Toys for Tots in the UPS store, donations made to this Toys for Tots literacy program will be used to buy books and other educational materials for local children in need. Since they launched this program earlier this year, more than $250,000 has been donated, which translates to over 250,000 books placed in the hands of children that really, really need them. Great program UPS and the Marine Toys for Tots have put together.
Great program, and not only that, a great lap right there by David Rudiman. Got out of the throttle early, got back in it when he needed to. He winds up being third quickest, but more importantly, he picked up right at a half a second over what he had practiced at. So that'd be pretty happy with that.
You know, their qualifying has come to life with that 44 car. He qualified 7th in Michigan and sat on the outside of the front row at Bristol last week.
Well, Randy talked about how consistent Travis Kvapil has been. Sometimes consistent means boring, but I tell you what, these guys, Kvapil and David Gilliland for Doug Yates, have really surprised a lot of people this season.
Well, I think they've kind of like been forced to have to try to get into that kind of mode because, you know, if they fall out of the top 35, I mean, you can kind of like cancel Christmas for this group right here. And I think that Doug Yates has been able to establish the fact that even though there's been a change of ownership at Yates Racing and his father's no longer there, but they're still a solid group of racers, and you know, they have got good race cars, and all they need just a little bit of help here and there, and they can keep, you know, getting it done with the best of them.
Let me underline what Randy was talking about. We've had 6,842 laps this season. Travis Kvapil has completed 6,808 of them.
I mean, and that's a big tribute to not only Travis Kvapil, but to the entire race team. We talk about those DNFs that Richard Childress Racing do not have with Kevin Harvick and with Clint Boyer. It's a tribute to the driver, to the mechanics, to the engine guys, to everybody at the organization.
Travis Kvapil, 12th overall. Let's go back to Randy.
Yeah, well, Jeff Gordon's strapping in. We'll try to get a quick word with him. Jeff, how did you find practice, and what do you look for here in qualifying?
It was hot and slick. Yeah, we struggled a little bit with the DuPont Pepsi Chevrolet, but made some adjustments. We'll see how it ends up. We got the balance pretty decent at one time. We still didn't have the speed, so we're searching a little bit, but we've got some great teammates with some good information, and I feel like Steve Letarte, all the guys, you know, have made some really good calls here. So we'll see if it pays off.
And you charge the corner here, you got to roll out.
Well, you got to be careful in turn one. You get that tailwind, and you can easily overdrive turn one, but I think you're going to have to charge 3 pretty hard.
Okay, that's Jeff Gordon, guys.
All right, thank you, Randy. Elliott Sadler still with a lap to beat. He ran a 40.33, which translates to 178.492 miles per hour.
See 203 miles an hour right there by Jamie McMurray, the 26 car off into turn 1.
Tracker looks pretty good there.
He got a great run through the middle of 1 and 2 down that back straightaway.
I can guarantee you, he nailed turn 1 and 2.
If he can get off turn 4, which turn 4 can be a little bit tricky, you kind of lose the racetrack right there. The car just wants to lunge against the wall right there, and as long as it'll turn, he used it all. He may have lost a little bit of ground as far as Elliott Sadler, but this looks like it'll be a top 5 run. 4th quickest for Jamie McMurray. 2 1,000 slower than David Rudiman.
Elliott Sadler still the man to beat. Coming up, Jimmy Johnson, Denny Hamlin, Regan Smith, and Casey Mears.
This Thursday on an all-new Wrecked, when trouble strikes.
It's going to be for a rollover tractor trailer. It's fully loaded.
Go, go! It hits hard.
We flip 2 rotators. We're screwed.
It went from an easy call to a complicated call real quick. I should be able to handle anything.
The load feels heavier than what they said it was.
My truck is not working.
Wrecked, life in the fresh lane. An all-new episode, Thursday night, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. Exclusively on Speed.
Week 5, 2007. Giants on the brink of going 2-3, knocking on mediocrity's door. But then Eli connects on a 53-yard touchdown pass. And you
Probably missed it because you only get 4 games on cable.
There's only one way to get every game every Sunday. NFL Sunday Ticket, only from DirecTV. So who's Eli going to pump fake into submission this season? Your mom?
Switch now and get 4 months of our best TV package for free.
The IRS.
At Gold Pack, we will pay you cash for your old gold or unwanted jewelry. No matter what you send in, Gold Pack guarantees payment.
Gold Pack sent me fast payment for old necklaces I had tangled up in my dresser drawer. It was jewelry I didn't even wear.
We'll send you a free Gold Pack with everything you need to make money from your unwanted jewelry today. Just send in the postage-paid envelope and we'll send you your payment within 24 hours.
Call 1-800-868-1353. That's 1-800-868-1353.
All night, Dora. Meet Nick Jr.'s Dora. She's coming to your town. Let's go. Adventures all around. You can dance with Dora, you can hug Dora, you can take a picture with Dora. Meet Nick Jr.'s Dora. She's coming to your town. Dora the Explorer.
At the Auto Club Speedway, Elliott Sadler has the time to beat Jimmy Johnson. Next up on the racetrack, let's go to Randy Pemberton.
Kurt Busch putting the helmet on. We'll try to get a quick word with him. Kurt, former winner of this race here. What do you think about qualifying? I know it's awfully slick. We're asking everybody your thoughts about turning a good lap here.
Yeah, we're going to give it our best shot with the Miller Lite Dodge. Been a little bit tight turn number 4 after that first lap. So we made some adjustments. You always hope that you hit it right. Hopefully we don't overcompensate and get a little loose off there. But we'll give it our best shot. We've had a few poles here in the past. We'll see what we've got for Elliott Sadler. He turned a really good lap.
Okay, that's Kurt Busch. Back upstairs.
Boys, we got a car that is flirting with running in the 39-second bracket. He may get there. Jimmy Johnson on a pole run, 4/10 quicker than Elliott Sadler. How about 39.91? He beats Elliott Sadler by 4/10.
Get you some of that.
And everybody feared because he ran that 40.33 late in that practice session.
Now let's go to Wendy.
Okay, well, David Rudiman gets bumped to 4th, but you picked up a half a second from your practice run. That's pretty good for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. We have the Toys for Tot literacy program on there with the UPS store, and as you can see, there's a helmet on there that's going to be going on at auction for at NASCAR.com for all the proceeds going to the program. But my guy Don Strauss, Tonner Design, did it, and hopefully raise some money, and all proceeds go to them, not to me. It goes to them.
That's a good thing. And talk about the racetrack. Has it changed much since earlier today?
No, it's still pretty slick. I mean, it's definitely a little bit faster. And I mean, we got a little bit of cloud cover, and so some guys may go quicker, like we saw the 48 go. But we picked up big pickup for us. I'm proud of my guys, Ryan Perriman and the guys, and everybody back at Michael Waltrip Racing. Another new car. The guys at the Fab Shop doing a great job. So hopefully we can give them a good run.
All right, thanks, David. And as quickly as the team pulls up to the top 3 here in the garage area, he gets bumped by Jimmy Johnson, and the car gets pushed back to the garage.
Wendy, Denny Hamlin had a scary moment in practice, got real sideways off of turn 4, but saved it. He's the 19th driver to qualify here at the Auto Club Speedway.
Told you when we watched that little save he did, he wrecked. He just didn't hit anything, Steve.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, that actually happened fairly early in that hour-and-a-half practice session.
It almost looked like he was practicing for a drifting competition. He was so sideways through that corner.
Who was it you said was doing drifting out here?
A.J. Allmendinger.
That's right.
Denny Hamlin will end up 7th quickest right now. We actually have 4 Toyotas in the top 7. Denny runs a 40.63.
Coming up next, we'll see Regan Smith, Casey Mears, Jeff Gordon, and Kurt Busch. Jimmy Johnson leading the way.
Battled his way to a win at Bristol. Sunday, NASCAR Race Day cruises into California.
NASCAR goes Hollywood,
where one free-race show is on top of it all.
It's going to be a big night.
As the race to the chase hits 2 to go.
Someone has to mess up for someone to get back in. They can't falter.
And a new rivalry steals the spotlight.
Everybody is getting goosebumps.
NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot. Live coverage begins Sunday, 5 Eastern. NASCAR on speed. Be there.
He's picking up.
Hello?
Hi, Ryan. It's Chad.
Hey, Chad.
You know how we hooked it up so there's a circle for everyone?
Yeah, I chose the 20. It's sweet.
We're canceling it.
But Chad, everyone on the team loves my circle.
Whatever. You should probably just switch to one of the other guys.
Why spend more than you have to? Choose the circle that fits you best, and now add unlimited messaging to your circle with the new My Circle message pack, only from Alta Wireless.
Brian, we can't just leave them there.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, we can build a neutral wall for very modern, clean feel.
This is top quality and we are happy.
And I like it. It looks perfect with the floor coverings. Yeah.
I think so. Please, I'll get this. Oh, thank you. Of course.
Was ist das denn für eine Karte?
Das ist wohl eine Kindergartenkarte.
Bin ich die Einzige, die das merkwürdig findet?
Ja. Auf Fluss. Good day. Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Take care. I think that went well, huh?
Yeah. Let me get this, okay?
If you own your business, own the card that says so.
Thank you.
The Gold Card, with rewards to reinvest in your business. Earn discounts and points on the same purchase. And more bonus points as your spending increases. To apply, visit open.com/gold or call 1-800-NOW-OPEN. American Express Open, calling all business owners.
Principal Financial Group Chevrolet, the 01 for DEI, 11th overall. Casey Mears on the 5 car, heading to the start-finish line.
He was pretty good in practice. He was 8th quickest. And right now, we only have one Chevrolet in the top 10. That's his teammate, Jimmy Johnson, which right now is somewhat in his own zip code. But the next quickest Chevrolet is Regan Smith, who just qualified as 11th. And then it's a whole clunk of Chevrolets there.
Guys, we have 20 drivers who have qualified, 24 remaining. Randy Pemberton was telling us during a commercial break, the track temperature is starting to drop. It's become a little more overcast. It seems like the conditions would favor somebody like Carl Edwards, who has yet to qualify.
We've talked about how important, a late draw is. This is how you get the benefit of it. If you're watching Casey Mears complete his deal, he winds up being 6th quickest. Really good pickup for him. But the key thing, like Randy Pemberton was saying, the wind going down into turn 1, you're getting a big tailwind. We've already heard about that. They can really push you off into turn 1, and you got to be careful there.
But don't forget, A.J. Allmendinger was 3rd in practice, and he's the very last car to go out. So they're going to have to wait till A.J. Allmendinger, and the guy that'll be waiting for him to go out, I think Wendy's got our pole sitter right now.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson beat Elliott Sadler by 4/10, picking up 4/10 himself. Jimmy, we're watching the cloud. We're feeling the wind. What do you think? Is that time going to stick?
I certainly went for it and got a good chunk of speed there. I'm not sure what it's going to do. There's some good cars to come up, and these clouds are rolling in. But either way, I mean, the draw is the draw, and we lay down a good lap and give those guys something to go after, and we'll see if it holds up.
All right, thanks to Jimmy. He's started from the front row this season 8 times, but never here at California Speedway, at Auto Club Speedway. Has never started from the pole, so he hopes to get one here today.
And his teammate Wendy, Jeff Gordon.
I guess we're going to find out whether or not teammate Jimmy Johnson told teammate Jeff Gordon what he did to his race car to put down such an impressive lap.
3 wins, 8 top 5s for Jeff Gordon here at the Auto Club Speedway.
Wow, did you see that 206 miles an hour down into turn 1?
And I tell you what, the car took a good set and stuck right there. You can see he's still just a little bit slower than Jimmy Johnson, his teammate, coming off turn 2 down the back straightaway. See how he can get through 3 and 4. I think he's got to stay under about 1/10 and a half, and he bailed her off into turn 3 as well. Don't think it's going to quite get to his teammate, but I think this will make an all-Hendrick front row for the time being. 2nd quickest. Pretty good lap, 40.09. Here's Mr. H, Rick Hendrick.
But Larry, from a 40.91 to a 40.09, huge pickup, almost 0.8 of a second.
And you get a feeling by looking at the number of laps they ran in practice, they pretty much were working on qualifying. They only ran 7 laps total.
And I think he said earlier, though, he was talking about his teammate Steve, how they can have influence on you. So, again, it looks like whatever Jimmy was doing with his race car, they were now doing with the 24 car.
And I'm sure Dale Earnhardt Jr., who will go out fairly late in this practice session, about 9 cars from now, he was only 30th quickest in practice, that he hopes he can pick up from what they've done.
So Hendrick Motorsports cars now 1st, 2nd, and 7th. Kurt Busch, the number 2 Miller Lite Dodge for Penske. Pole winner for 3 of the last 4 races here at the Auto Club Speedway.
Win here in 2003. To me, it looked like he had his hands full coming to take the green, but so far he's looking awfully good through the middle of 1 and 2. Onto the back straightaway. Lost a little ground there, late exit of turn 2. Kurt was 13th quickest in practice at a 40.72.
And Larry, the one thing I'm noticing right now, Kurt Busch, right quick, the front splitter is bouncing off the racetrack. I can see some of the sparks flying off the bottom in front of the car. So a little bit, he got his hands full.
Yeah, he lost a little bit there, late exit of turn 4, but it's going to be a top 5 run. He's 4th quickest at a 40.41.
Back to Randy.
Rick Hendrick standing by down here. We don't see you at the track a lot on Fridays. Geez, you're pretty good luck. You got a couple on the front row so far. You need to come Fridays.
We need to go to work. It's showtime. No, it's. I came out for Jimmy's function Tuesday night. Now I want to tell Bob Grafella and his family we were really thinking about him. Lowe's is a special bunch of folks, and they were all family, and that was a tragic deal for Matt. But anyway, yeah, I've worked the dealerships out here, so I've been working, but hopefully have a good weekend. We just got to run good at the end.
Okay, good luck to you this weekend, Ricky.
Thank you.
There are the Hendrick teammates, Johnson and Gordon 1-2. Casey Mears right now is 8th.
We've got a couple of Chevrolets, then a couple of Dodges, and a couple of Toyotas. The fastest Ford right now is Greg Biffle's teammate, Jamie McMurray, in that 26 car. Greg on the racetrack in the 16 car.
Biffle has gone from 11th to 7th in points over the last 6 races.
You know, Roush Fenway, they have 14 NASCAR wins here at Auto Club Speedway. 6 in the Sprint Cup, 6 in the Nationwide, and even 2 wins in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
And the Biff has 4 of those, 1 in Cup and 3 in the Nationwide Series.
Taking a look right there at Bob Osborne and Jack Roush. He's the one in the straw hat, the cat hat we like to call him. Owner of the 16 car.
Pretty solid one for Greg Biffle, right behind his teammate Jamie McMurray. Now we have 2 Chevrolets, then 2 Dodges, then 2 Toyotas, and now 2 Fords.
Coming up, Scott Riggs, Carl Edwards, who was fastest in practice, and Sam Hornick.
Saturday, American Le Mans Series revs up the Motor City. And take your turn in the driver's seat with Speed Onboard Pass, presented by Acura. ALMS, live from Detroit, Saturday, 2:30 Eastern, only on.
It's the greatest show on dirt. The World of Outlaws Late Model Series. Coverage from Sharon begins Sunday, noon Eastern, only on Speed. Warning, objects may be closer than they appear. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Live coverage from Gateway begins September 6, 2 Eastern. NASCAR on Speed. Be there.
Master of Disguise.
Observe NASCAR driver Elliott Sadler, a master of disguise. Today, Agent Sadler is a guest spotter for Sunoco's Free Fuel 5000. If you get spotted near Sunoco with our decal on your car, you win free fuel instantly. But the thing is,
I'm moving in.
You never know when we'll be watching. Get your decal at Sunoco. Get spotted, win free fuel, and a chance at 5,000 gallons. The Free Fuel 5000 right now at Sunoco.
Go to Advance Auto Parts. They'll test the battery. If it's good, great. If it's dead, buy an Autocraft and let them drop it in for you. No charge. Whatever you need, Advance will help you keep the wheels turning.
to the Auto Club Speedway, where Sprint Cup qualifying continues on. Jeff Gordon currently on the front row for you. Jeff, 0.8 of a second. That's a huge pickup from your practice run.
Yeah, I'm shocked right now. I'm ecstatic at the same time. I don't know where that's going to end up, but fantastic job to all the guys at this DuPont Pepsi Chevrolet. It's a big weekend for us with Pepsi, being the Pepsi 500, and I was nervous in practice. I don't know, just didn't have the speed, didn't have what it took. But the car flew through 3 and 4 right there. I missed 1 and 2, but 3 and 4 was awesome, and that's a great lap for us.
All right, thanks to Jeff Gordon. We could see how happy he was when Steve Letarte got to the window. They both were ecstatic and had huge smiles across their faces.
As well as they should be, Wendy. Again, that was a fantastic lap as we watched Scott Riggs complete his qualifying effort. Now, he was 43rd in the first practice session, and Larry, he didn't pick up, he picked up a lot, but he didn't pick up enough. I mean, he's still way down in the chart.
Yeah, my buddy Booty Barker, Scott Riggs, they have just really struggled ever since they unloaded that race car this morning. So I'm sure based on where Booty and Scott Riggs is at right now, probably he'll be spending a little time talking to Chad Knaus and Jimmy Johnson.
As well, he might need to be. Hey, one thing I want to point out right quick. We've been through 25 cars so far, and Larry, we talked about 1 lap, 1 and done. We've gone all 25 cars have only run 1 lap, so it really tells you how important it is to nail that one and only lap if you want to be good.
And as you mentioned, a big part of that lap is coming through 3 and 4 to get the green, getting that momentum to carry that speed down into turn 1. I'd say all stopwatches will be on this car right here because he was the fastest cat in the alley in practice, but he set that time very early in the practice, and he couldn't come back late in the practice and back it up. He was actually 2 3/10 slower, so we'll have to see what he can do here.
Second in points to Kyle Busch, winner of 3 of the last 4 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series races.
Car sliding around an awful lot. You can just see it walking up the racetrack, and you can even look in there and see that he is a very busy man with that steering wheel.
The car does not look good at all. Does not look smooth like it's in the racetrack, like it's all on top. Front splitter bouncing around, back end kind of kicking around. He has got his hands full.
You could see the splitter bottoming out. You can see right there how loose it is. I mean, this is going to be probably one of the slowest laps he's run about all day long.
You know what I'd say back at my ranch in North Carolina? Ride him, cowboy.
Well, I know he's glad that 40 seconds is over. 16th quickest, Steve.
Larry, you always talk about what a classy guy Carl Edwards is. He gave his trophy from Victory Lane at Michigan to a young boy named Cody Burns, who's in a wheelchair.
And he always takes his sunglasses off when we talk to him.
Rise and shine. It's the Castro Engine Block on Speed.
No marketing fluff. No ridiculous claims. Just a promise. The Ride Says It All. Can-Am. Find out for yourself at the Ride Says It All Tour.
Cobalt tools are so comfortable, you just don't want to quit working.
Try it now. Jimmy, get in the car.
Cobalt, the next generation of tough tools. Available exclusively at Lowe's.
Pipe wrench. Hey, Jimmy?
People want to know about Denny Hamlin. Steve Brookman from Richmond, Virginia writes, Dear FedEx, does Denny ever do any international traveling? Well, Denny was just in Japan.
Moto Speedo 出せますか？ダメでしょ。新幹線なんだ。モトスピード。
There's a place where the fire of competition burns more intensely than ever. Where drivers can see their dreams just over the horizon, and where the future's as bright as the sunrise. A place where the sense of community
is as close as the racing itself. Welcome to our world, the NASCAR Camping World Series.
Defiance, Ohio's Sam Hornish Jr., the 77 Penske Truck Rental Dodge. Let's go to Randy Pemberton.
Ryan Newman, Tony Stewart down here chatting it up just a little bit, telling secrets before they go out. Of course, they are going to be teammates next year, so let's get up with Ryan real quick. Hey, Ryan, what do you think about a 39.9? Can you do anything with that?
That was pretty quick. Kurt ran exactly a half second slower than that. He was quicker than me in practice, so we'll see what the Kodak Dodge has got in it today.
Hey, what about getting ready for the race tomorrow? This is one thing, but qualifying doesn't always mean everything.
We didn't unload really quick. Had a couple issues with the car, or one issue with the car, and didn't get a whole lot of laps in practice, but just worked on qualifying runs, 3 or 4 qualifying runs, and just it's going to be totally different, it seems. The track was so hot and so crazy today. It's supposed to be, I think, a little bit of cloud cover and about a high mid-80s on Sunday, so we'll see.
Have a good run today. Upstairs.
All right, thank you, Randy.
Now, Steve, watching this 77 car, Sam Hornish, on the first lap, he bailed her off down there in turn 1, cocked it sideways, and I can't believe he actually was able to be able to save it. But it really, the slowest of all the 27 cars that have already gone in front of him. But now he's the first guy that's going to go for a second lap. But Larry, he needed to.
Yeah, I think he learned from what the car did the first time, and he's definitely going to pick up from what he ran that first lap. Not going to be that great of a run, but right now he'll end up 20th quickest, so he picks up. But let's show you what Jeff was talking about going off into turn 1.
See the car go off here in turn 1, and it just all of a sudden it starts sitting out on him, and it bottoms out almost. The back end, I mean, that's a pretty great save right there, guys. But that car was definitely, I wouldn't say even free. It was loose.
Well, I don't think we can stress enough that all the way right there, he's probably still 170 to 75 miles per hour. I don't know that I want to do that at about 30 or 35.
Scares me just sitting there for watching.
I was going to say, I don't want to do it, period.
But that's why, what have you said, Steve?
That's why they don't print Steve Burns t-shirts. 24-year-old Eric Almirola out of Tampa, Florida. He's going to be a full-time driver, that number 8 at DEI next season.
Eric was 22nd quickest in practice earlier. His teammates right now, Regan Smith is 15th. Paul Menard is 18th.
And Steve, you know what? We might ought to start a list this week of guys who wreck but don't hit anything, because I think that 77 was actually even more dramatic than the 11 car we saw earlier in today's practice.
Boys, if this guy right here, if he can get through turn 3 and 4, he is flirting with an awfully good qualifying run, flirting with the top 5.
Like just a little bit, but it's still going to be good.
Looks like it's going to be maybe in the 40-42nd bracket. 40-41, that puts him 5th quickest. Great run.
Let's go to Randy.
Mike Skinner standing down here. It's going to be his last ride for Michael Waltrip Racing. I know that 3 weeks isn't a whole lot that you can decipher to try to help those guys out a little bit, and I know you're trying to help Michael McDowell out as well. Your thoughts as to what you guys have learned and what you've been able to give them?
Well, I think they got a lot of things that they can work on. You know, whether I'm right or wrong or have helped or not, you know, they've got your brother to bounce a lot of things off of, which is definitely a true professional. And, you know, it just takes time. You know, I don't think the results has been really any better than with me than with Michael. So we're pinpointing things to work on the race car and get the program better. So try to get a little more prepared before it leaves the shop, especially for qualifying days. So, I don't know, time will tell.
It's all about building new race cars for these guys as well, Larry and Jeff. So you're building some new cars, trying to make some headway with Michael Waltrip Racing.
Well, definitely, they're starting to show it in the line of qualifying. But you know why? One reason he can't go to Richmond? He wants to go somewhere where he doesn't have to play nice. To the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Racing Gateway, St. Louis.
They don't play that. They beat and bang a lot.
Tell you what, this qualifying run for Dale Earnhardt Jr., it's going to be a lot better than what he encountered in practice. He was flirting with a top 10 run, but this still, I think, is going to be a huge improvement.
Yeah,
from
he
being
was
30th quickest.
30th quickest in that first practice. He definitely should be happier. Again, teammates helping one another out.
Hendrick cars, 1st, 2nd, 10th, and 11th. Coming up, Michael Waltrip, Martin Truex Jr., and Dave Blaney.
Warning. Objects may be closer than they appear. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Live coverage from Gateway begins September 6, 2 Eastern. NASCAR on Speed. Be there.
The kids have been wanting to go to the safari theme park since last summer. So we used our City Cash Returns card to buy the tickets and stuff. It was great to get close to the animals. But not that close. Luckily, we used the cash we got back to help pay for some body work.
With your City Cash Returns card, earn unlimited cash back and get it mailed to you automatically. Whatever your story is, your City Cash Returns card can help you write it. Because City never sleeps.
Fishing is war.
Who wants to mess with Bill Dugan? Bring it on!
When it comes to competitive bass fishing, it's Bill versus Billy Ray, Bill Engvall, and Billy Ray Cyrus. Bait Shot on DVD September 2nd.
Rated everyone. Would you like to put a stop to your partner's snoring so you could go to sleep and stay asleep every night? Introducing Pure Sleep, the stop snoring solution. Common snoring is caused when the airway is constricted, causing the soft palate to vibrate. Pure Sleep is a patented self-molded mouthpiece cleared by the FDA, which holds the jaw slightly forward, opening the airway so that the snoring stops. Look at the difference in these before and after images.
That is just the astounding thing. I have not snored. And so this thing works. It's easy to use, easy to mold, works like a charm.
I'm sleeping through the night and so is he, and we're waking up with more energy and not waking up in the middle of the night to say shh.
If it doesn't work, we'll refund the purchase price, refund the original shipping charge, and even pay to ship it back. Try Pure Sleep risk-free.
Visit us at puresleep.com.
Michael Waltrip brings the Napa Toyota to pit road. He is 21st overall of 30 drivers who have qualified here at the Auto Club Speedway for Sunday night's Pepsi 500 on this Labor Day weekend. Martin Truex Jr. in the 1 car for DEI.
Steve, I got to believe right now on Michael's deal, he's starting to get some benefit of the cooler racetrack, and Larry, I got to believe that Martin Truex Jr. will wind up doing the same thing.
Yeah, he was 11th quickest in practice, and he's flirting with a top 5 run. And he gets his boys back next week at Richmond. Kevin Mannion, the crew chief, car chief Gary Putnam. They'll be back at Richmond after serving his 6-week suspension. He's been with crew chief Mike Grieche for these 6 weeks, and this is going to be a great run for Martin Truex Jr. in this 1 car. 4th quickest, 40.36, right behind Elliott Sadler.
Larry Mack, I got a nugget for you.
You gonna wait till after break or now?
I'm gonna whip it on you right now.
Better hurry.
Hendrick drivers have started 1-2 28 times.
Wow.
28. Well, that happened at 29.
Drivers of a different breed. Outlaws, tempting fate and pushing limits. One wrong move, one mistake can become a pile of twisted metal. It's the greatest show on dirt. The World of Outlaws Late Model Series. Coverage from Sharon begins Sunday noon Eastern. Only on Speed.
Being fast from 0 to 60 is good. Truckers say being fast from 40 to 70, even better. Throw in 4 massive disc brakes, and you got yourself one happy ending. Available on the full-size Tundra. The truck that's changing it all.
You're watching Eli fillet the fish, but you're missing Peyton pummel the Panthers. If you had DirecTV, you could see up to 8 NFL games live on the same screen, so you'll never miss a thing.
8 games on one screen, only on DirecTV.
I
guy is worried about naming his own price? I'm on it. Naming your own price, huh?
Yeah, they want $200 for a 4-star on the Vegas Strip. I'm going $190.
Oh, you wuss.
What?
Go lower.
$160?
Namby-pamby.
$140?
Cupcake.
I want a good room.
It's a guaranteed 4-star room, mama's boy.
$99.
Now you're negotiating.
Save up to half off on hotels at Priceline.
Rated everywhere.
Nicely done by Dave Blaney in the Caterpillar Toyota. He is 5th overall. Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon still 1-2.
Yeah, Dave was 10th quickest in practice, and I know we've got a long way to go, but Dave and the 22 car, they have not had a top 10 start this year, and they're sitting there 5th right now with about 12 cars left to go.
I bet you he winds up being in the top 10, Larry.
I believe he will too. I believe this man here may try to have something to say about that. Ryan Newman in that 12 car, even though he was not that great in practice, he was 24th quickest.
We've got Ryan Newman, then it's Tony Stewart and Casey Kane. Then we'll start knockout qualifying. Mike Skinner will be the first driver to go out in that group.
And I think this is one car, one team that mathematically they are not out. But after finishing 6th at Bristol, nice run last week, they're 15th in the points, but the problem, 181 points out of 12th. That means they're more than one race out with 2 races to go, and right now he ends up 13th quickest.
Back to Randy.
Marcus Ambrose only has 12 laps on this racetrack in his career in a COT. Your thoughts heading into qualifying? It's a go or go home situation for you.
Just want to get in the show, that's all. I feel under quite a bit of pressure here, and I've only got to beat one car, but there's a lot of talent in this field, so just want to get a stable lap in, lock ourselves in the show, and work on the car for tomorrow.
Boy, you can feel the pressure right there, can't you guys?
And I just think with the way the weather is going right now, yeah, we've only got 44 cars here, but it's 44 good race cars. And the way the weather's going, I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of these go-or-go-homers qualify pretty darn good.
I would not be one bit surprised. You got some good talent, he said, back there toward the back with, Ken Schrader, A.J. Allmendinger, Johnny Sauter, Patrick Carpentier. I mean, these guys can qualify with the best of them.
Well, Jeff, you said earlier today Tony Stewart won the Nationwide Series race here in February, but at 14 Sprint Cup Series starts, still looking for his first California pole and his first win here at the Auto Club Speedway.
But boy, this group, ever since Tony Stewart made his announcement, what a roll they have been on. The last 6 races, 3 top 5s, and 2 of those were second place finishes, 4 top 10s, and now they have put themselves in pretty good position. 6th in the points, but 170 points in front of the 13th place car of David Reagan.
Tony wasn't all that spectacular in today's practice. He was like 25th quickest, and it looks like he's trying to improve on that.
Pretty good run, 11th quickest for Tony. I just think the track is getting better and better, which to me, that's what makes Jimmy Johnson and in particular Elliott Sadler's run look so good, because those guys certainly went earlier in the session.
Definitely went earlier, and particularly Elliott Sadler. I mean, he was really the second guy to go out. So, I mean, that lap was very impressive for him to be able to pull it off, because I believe the track temperature has probably cooled down almost 10 or 12 degrees since when he qualified, plus the ambient temperature, which means, in my mind, you should be able to make a little bit more horsepower.
Casey Kane in the Budweiser Dodge. Almost always a good qualifier here. 6 top 10 starts in 8 races, including a pole.
But Steve, right now, you talk about Casey Kane being a good qualifier. Here's where Elliott Sadler may be able to give us some insight as far as how his car is responding, what kind of tire pressures, and what he would do if he had a second chance on the racetrack, and it may benefit somebody like Casey Kane.
Yeah, he was 7th quickest in practice at a 40-50 something. So I just believe this racetrack has a good 3 or 4 tenths in it from when he practiced. Looks like he got a pretty good run off turn 2. The tracker was starting to come down just a little bit. Continuing to gain down this back straightaway. 196 miles per hour off in the corner. He looked like he didn't overdrive.
He got back in that throttle like he needed to, looking really strong off of turn 4.
This is going to be a great run. In fact, it may be enough just to edge out his teammate, Elliott Sadler, for that third spot. He's third quickest, just behind his teammate. So we've got Hendrick 1-2, Gillette Evernham 3-4.
It's time for knockout qualifying. When we come back, it'll be Mike Skinner, Tony Raines, Patrick Carpentier, and that is a race fan.
He's a relative of Larry's.
Monday, on 101 Cars You Must Drive.
Street racing. Check it out. That's right, the old Deuce. How many clowns can you fit in a smart car? Right now, I'd say 1.
101 Cars You Must Drive. Monday night, 9 Eastern, only on Speed.
John Wayne, better known as the Duke, portrayed some of the greatest cowboys in American cinema history. Dale Earnhardt was the real-life cowboy, the Duke of Motorsports. Dale and the Duke were bold, aggressive, rugged American icons. Now, thanks to Action Racing Collectibles, the Duke is joining forces with Dale Earnhardt in the Enduring Legends series. So saddle up and order your Dale and the Duke diecast today at the NASCAR.com Superstore.
Labor Day weekend is the perfect time to paint. And Ace can help every step of the way. From a simple start to a fabulous finish. Now through Monday, buy these Ace brand paint supplies on sale for just $7.99 each and get an additional $3 mail-in rebate on each. Or Ace Royal Paint starting at $19.99 a gallon and now with an extra $5 mail-in rebate. Hurry, sale ends Monday. For 2 years in a row, Ace has been ranked highest in customer satisfaction by J.D. Power & Associates. Ace, the helpful place.
47. I'm comfortable in jeans that are tough. I'm comfortable in jeans that last. I'm comfortable in Wrangler. Real comfortable.
Wrangler 5-star premium denim jeans. Built tough with long-lasting heavyweight denim. Built comfortable with relaxed fit. Satisfaction guaranteed. Wrangler, real, comfortable jeans.
What do you do before your driver has a souvenir trailer? When he doesn't have his own hats yet, or t-shirts, or even a sticker for your car? You cheer with your heart.
Jimmy Johnson, the man to beat as we start knockout qualifying. 44 drivers here for 43 positions. One driver will not make the show. And we start with Mike Skinner in the Affliction Toyota, driving for Michael Waltrip Racing.
Now, Mike was third quickest of the go or go home cars. A.J. Allmendinger was the quickest. He was third overall. Patrick Carpentier was 18th. He was second overall. And Mike was 29th, third of the go or go home cars.
And you mentioned that when you say the go or go home cars, he's only got to beat one of them to be able to lock himself into the field.
And I know one of the goals of this race team, Michael Waltrip Racing, Peter Suspenzo, before they hand this car back to Michael McDowell next week at Richmond, would be to get this car back in the top 35 in owner points. Right now, they're only 25 points out. Mike's first lap, not that great of a lap, 41 flat. I think you'll see Mike probably go ahead and run this second lap. I don't know if it will be to any avail. You could see he didn't get off the corner, through the middle, off the corner at all.
Larry, you're talking about the top 35 in points. Important to note, 31st through 37th, separated by just 70 points.
It's tight. And when you look at the owner points, it's not like the chase situation, getting in the chase. That's a battle. We talk about it every week that will go all the way down to the wire at Homestead. Now, Mike actually has a pole here, driving for Richard Childress Racing back in 2000. He ran
no gain, no loss.
Identical times out to the thousandths of a second on both those laps. That's unbelievable around a 2-mile racetrack.
41.009 seconds
on both laps. That is hard to believe you could even do that. Which tells me actually probably a second lap the car maybe drove a little better, because we've seen how it's so hard to pick up on your second lap. The tires just lose grip.
Tony Raines had a nice night at Bristol. He started 20th and finished 17th in the 70 car. Let's go back to Randy.
Well, A.J. Allmendinger right now doing radio with MRN, and we'll go ahead and step in here and try and grab A.J. We'll give him a break. We'll come back to him in just a second. There, we got him now. A.J. doing interviews for everybody at the moment. Mistimed that one just a little bit. You're awfully quick in practice, third quick. Track temp right now about 114, down from 128 at the start. Can you put this thing on the pole, or at least get a good qualifying effort in?
I mean, Jimmy's lap was pretty sweet, so a pole, that might be out of the question. But hey, you never know. It's that's what we're here to do. But you know, the most important thing is just get the Red Bull Toyota in the field solid. If we get a top 10, I'd be thrilled with that.
Okay, good luck, buddy.
Thank you.
And that's a great attitude, because if I'm Jimmy Elledge right now, what I'm telling AJ, I know you want a pole, but we need to get in this show. All you need to do is just make a nice solid lap, and we'll be easily in this race on Sunday. Because ever since AJ has come back into the race car after Mike Skinner drove it for 5 races, he's qualified for every race. Not a good lap for Tony Raines at all. 41.353. That puts him 36 out of the 37 cars. No championship provisional, no issues here this week. It'll pretty much be the 8 fastest of the 9 go-home cars that are here.
After Tony Raines, we'll see Patrick Carpentier, Marcos Ambrose, and Johnny Sauter.
But you know, the thing about it, Tony is right back there with his teammate Scott Riggs in that 66 car. So it's like both of the Haas Automation cars are struggling. And he did pick it up a little bit, but no position. So Mike Skinner, he'll race on Sunday.
We'll see if anybody has anything for Jimmy Johnson when we come back.
The all-new 113-cubic-inch Raider. The world's first chopper-inspired custom that rides as great as it looks. The Raider from Star Motorcycles. We build it, you make it your own. Exclusively at your Yamaha dealer. Dodge Avenger RT and Charger RT. Inspired by NASCAR. Built to grab life. During the last 60 laps at Talladega, Dodge will award fans with prizes celebrating 60 years of NASCAR. Register at NASCAR.com/Dodge60 to go.
We torture tested 2 cars to prove a point about maximum horsepower. The black car with Castrol Syntec, the red, the leading conventional oil. In torture tests, Castrol Syntec 5W30 maintained maximum horsepower longer. Conventional oil got smoked.
Don't you use conventional oil? Not anymore.
Want more proof? Go to CastrolSyntec.com. It's more than just oil, it's liquid engineering.
The Aaron's Lucky Dog Dream Machine had some bad luck at Texas. It wrecked and flipped 8 times. Have you had some bad luck? Is your credit a wreck? Lucky for you, there's Aaron's. That's because we never check your credit. You can take up to 24 months to pay, and you still get Aaron's guaranteed low price on brand new name brand furniture, electronics, appliances, and computers. Even if your credit's a wreck, Aaron's will leave you smiling. Cause you know what we say, everyone's a lucky dog at Aaron's.
Casey Kane could possibly be starting Sunday night's race in the same spot you started last year here at Auto Club Speedway. Casey Kane, third. How was that qualifying run for you?
It was pretty good. Our Budweiser Dodge was felt good. I was comfortable. It turned better than what it was in practice, and the back was in the track. So Kenny and the guys did a good job. We made some big gains, and Jeff and Jimmy were a little faster, but me and Elliott are right behind them. So hopefully it'll be good for Sunday night.
All right, thanks, Casey. That was a 4/10 pickup from practice. Right now it's an all Hendrick front row, followed by that second row of Gillette Evernham cars, guys.
Well, Gillette Evernham right now with Patrick Carpentier in the 10 car working on all 3 of the Gillette Evernham cars to qualify possibly in the top 10. A little bit of revenge on NASCAR racing, missing the show last week at Bristol, did not qualify. The first race he has not qualified for when he got an opportunity to go out on time.
Larry, he's going to be right there in between his teammates right now. He winds up fourth quickest, Steve.
Great run. And this is where I think you just need to shut her down, Patrick. That'll be plenty good enough. You will be racing.
Let's go to Randy.
Sorry about that, guys. Trying to get over to Kenny Schrader. Kenny, great qualifying effort last week at Bristol. Practice not exactly where you wanted it today. You concerned about making this race?
We just got to pick up. Last week we were 42nd and qualified 7th, so not a lot of emphasis put on the qualifying practice, so made a bunch of changes. We'll see here in just a minute, but a little DLP Toyota ought to be okay.
And you're also heading to DuQuoin, I understand it?
DuQuoin, but that's not till Monday. We got 500 miles here Sunday night.
Okay, don't wear yourself out.
You know how he's going to get there? Tony Stewart's just going to drop him off as Tony heads home. No, I think he'll actually land the plane. I don't think he'll just throw Kenny out the side door.
Schrader's he's kind of a sad dad right now. They just did or are going to drop their daughter off at New York University, NYU. Dorothy going to college.
I can remember when that little old gal was born. That is so hard to believe.
That's okay. Won't be much longer. Bryson will be doing the same thing. So you think all grow up.
No.
Tell him about it, Larry.
Brooks going off to her second year. I talked to her earlier today, and she was down there unloading her car. So it's a tough deal.
And I've got one that's already graduated.
Hard to believe.
Marcos Ambrose, he just needs to be to the left of that little green stripe there. That represents Tony Raines in the 70 car. We know.
Oh! That's not what you want to have happen. He's got to keep his foot in it, though, all the way back to the start-finish line.
He just ran out of racetrack, but it will be good enough. I think he will race barely, but it's good enough to get him in right now. So I think this is where David Hyder needs to say that'll be enough, buddy.
Well, Larry, that underscores what you said just not too long ago about how the car wants to lunge out there in turn 4.
You're carrying so much speed. You've picked the throttle up so far back in the corner, and it's like the corner just chops off. We see so many problems off turn 4 in qualifying and practice in the race because you just run out of racetrack.
Our final drivers to qualify are Johnny Sauter, Joe Nemechek, Kyle Petty, Kenny Schrader, and A.J. Allmendinger. Let's take another look.
Now, this is coming to take the green. We've talked about how important this is, and you can see he got a little bit sideways there, but he stayed in the throttle, and I think we saw on our tracker that he really lost a lot of ground. And this is where he actually hit it coming to the white flag, or in his case, the checkered flag, but he will race right now. He's 36.
Jeff, the amazing thing about that, he kept his foot in the gas. He just kept her wide open.
He did not have any choice, Steve. I mean, the first time coming to the green, I think he probably checked up a little bit, but he knew he had to keep his foot in it, or otherwise he wasn't going to be racing here Sunday. And great job right here by him to be able to get that 21 car in the race.
What do they call it? Go or go home. And they did not want to go all the way back to Harrisburg, North Carolina tonight.
Well, that's Johnny Sauter in the 08 Dodge.
Johnny was the slowest of the cars. In fact, his fastest lap was a 42.90. And he just needs to get just to the left of that green stripe. Right now, he's flirting with that time that Tony Raines ran. He needs to beat a 41.35 if he wants to race. They missed the show at Bristol. They plan on running about 5 or 6 more races. If he can just get it, it's going to be tight.
It's going to be the thousandth of a second who won.
And he beats him. So Johnny Sauter will race on Sunday. That is not what Tony Raines wanted to see.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, sir.
Let me give you another nugget so we go along with the one you told Larry earlier.
What one on me?
1-2 finishes for Hendrick. 22 of them. So not only do they start up front a lot, they also finish up front a lot.
That's almost more impressive than the starts to do it in that many races.
It really is. And Gordon and Johnson have done that 8 times.
And I think you were a part of a few of those, in particular the 1989 Daytona 500.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of that right there. We beat Kenny Schrader that day for a 1-2 finish.
I don't know why Johnny Sauter's running his second lap, though. I'm not real sure about that one.
He just felt so good. He was happy to be here.
He's going to be happy to race.
That's exactly right.
He's another guy doing double duty this weekend.
Coming up, Nemechek, Petty, Schrader, and Allmendinger.
may be closer than they appear. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Live coverage from Gateway begins September 6, 2 Eastern. NASCAR on Speed. Be there.
Cobalt tools are so comfortable, you just don't want to quit working.
Try it now.
Jimmy, get in the car. Cobalt, the next generation of tough tools. Available exclusively at Lowe's.
Pipe wrench. Hey, Jimmy?
I'm comfortable with new looks. I'm comfortable with new styles. I'm comfortable with Wrangler. Real comfortable.
Wrangler Jeans Company. A new generation of Wrangler. With new fits and new styles to keep you comfortable. Guaranteed. Wrangler. Real, comfortable jeans.
6 out of 10 Americans are now in debt. If your credit card bills are piling up and your balance just isn't going down, call Consolidated Credit now. They'll get the credit card companies to reduce or eliminate your interest. They're the freedom people.
Only Consolidated Credit has the Freedom Quest program. Call now, 1-800-734-5881, 734-5881.
Consolidated Credit. When credit card debt is the problem, they're the solution.
There's a new place local bands play all night and day, and there's never a cover. Battle of the Bands on demand. The region's hottest acts and emerging artists recorded live. The show starts now at Battle of the Bands on demand.
Thank you, everybody. Take it easy. Good night.
Joe Nemechek has 10 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series poles, and he got his first one here in 1997.
The very first time we came here, and he already has a pole in the books this year. Sat on the pole at Talladega back in the spring.
Guys, since you brought that right there up, Larry, I got to at least make the comment. It's kind of a tough thing for a guy like Joe Nemechek to sit on the pole, and with a new format for the Budweiser Shootout in Daytona, he will not be able to capitalize on that because of the way they're going to do the new formula down there, allowing the manufacturers to get, 6 out of each one of the manufacturers, top six manufacturers, and he just won't be able to accomplish that. But, you know.
Also in that same boat could be Paul Menard and Patrick Carpentier.
Yeah. Well, he will race on Sunday. He ends up the second quickest of the go-or-go-homers, 19th for Joe Nemechek at a 40.63. Jay Guy gives him the time over the radio, and he backs her down.
Let's go to Wendy.
In the top 5 here, and your first Cup start at the Auto Club Speedway. Congrats on a great qualifying run.
Thanks. No, the guys did a good job. I mean, the Sears Valvoline was pretty good. Little tight in 1 and 2, but after last week, believe me, I needed it, so I'm pretty happy. I mean, they made a great change, and the car was good. So hopefully we get to get a good run this weekend. We need it this week, so that's great. I mean, top 5, that's amazing. So thanks to Gillette Evernham. Appreciate it.
All right, Patrick Carpentier picked up 6/10 for that qualifying effort for his debut here at Auto Club Speedway.
Wendy's mic sounded a little windy.
Yeah, I'll be here all week.
Be appearing at the Chuckle Hut.
Exactly.
Tip your waiters and waitresses on the way out.
Did you take lessons from Chris Myers?
No.
You should.
Well, Kyle Petty, one of just 3 drivers left to qualify. He'll be followed by Kenny Schrader and A.J. Allmendinger. And as Larry and Jeff have pointed out, Allmendinger was 3rd fastest in practice earlier this afternoon.
And Steve, you know what's kind of funny about that? I mean, I've been in a situation where, you've got to qualify for a race, and you're sitting there watching the times come up, and, you go in there and you lean in your driver, and the driver says, what I got to run? What I got to run? And it's like, you run as fast as you can. Well, I don't want to wreck it. I would tell you to run as fast as you can if I wanted you to wreck it, but I can't tell you how fast to run. I mean, a driver has to go out there and feel his way into a situation like this, but all of these guys, they know what they've got to do when they roll off. They've got to run a certain speed. I mean, and It's hard to do, isn't it, Larry? It's a lot harder than what you think.
It is. I've been watching this 45 car. He was flirting with not running faster than Tony Raines, but he'll pick it up to a 41.05. That's about a half a second pickup from practice. Kyle Petty will race on Sunday.
His 825th Sprint Cup start.
Been around for a long time.
Coming back, it's up to Kenny Schrader and A.J. Allmendinger. Jimmy Johnson is the man to beat.
Rated everywhere.
At TireRack.com, we don't just sell tires, we test them. On our test track and on real-world roads.
We stock nearly 1 million tires.
That's the largest selection anywhere. And Tire Rack delivers to you or thousands of our independent recommended installers, usually in just 2 business days. All this at prices that won't leave you flat.
TireRack.com. Research, buy, deliver, install.
Welcome to the Paradise Lake Bassmaster Tournament.
It is going to take a minor miracle for the amateur Bill Doobie to unseat Hot Rod Johnson.
Bill Engvall and Billy Ray Cyrus star in Bait Shop on DVD September 2nd.
You want a little piece of fish?
Razor sharp performance. The world's toughest ATVs. The hardest working, smoothest riding utility vehicles. Up to $800 in rebates. And as low as 2.99% APR. On Trail Dominate, Trophy Day, Stuff Dirt Grip, Hound, Rock Crawl, Muddy, Corner Hug, adrenaline pumping Polaris vehicles. Get to your participating Polaris dealer for the Polaris Power Play sales event. Find out more at PolarisIndustries.com/powerplay.
Jimmy Johnson trying to wrap up his 17th career pole. Just 2 drivers standing between he and that feat. Kenny Schrader and A.J. Allmendinger. Schrader making his 2nd start in the number 96 DLP Hall of Fame Toyota.
This car is going to get the smorgasbord of drivers over these last 11 or 12 races. Joey Logano will race this car 5 races for this team. Kenny Schrader will be in it at Richmond next week, then at Dover, as well as Talladega. Brad Coleman still a part of the program. In fact, he did a tire test at Kansas in this 96 car for Goodyear this past week. They're just wanting to get him more seat time in this heavier Sprint Cup car. Schrader flirting with a pretty decent qualifying run. All he needs to do is be to the left of that green stripe. And right now, Jimmy Johnson and Tony Raines, they have this car to watch as well as A.J. Allmendinger. And again, he'll be the last car to go out, and he was 3rd quickest overall, A.J. Allmendinger was.
Can he just get it off through turn 3 and 4? No problem at all for the veteran.
Qualified 7th last week at Bristol, and I think it's safe to say that he will race on Sunday. 27th quickest, 40.81.
Schrader's start last weekend in Bristol, Tennessee, his first Cup start since Lowe's Motor Speedway back in May.
I tell you what, that group right there, they have, you can just see how happy those guys are. I mean, they have attempted a ton of races this year, and this will be the first time that they've raced that 08 car.
Okay. Johnny Sauter in the show.
And guys, you know what? You got to really take it one step further. We keep talking about the competitiveness of this series as well as the difficulty of getting these cars dialed in right. This is an independent team. I mean, they've got some affiliation, I think, with Gillette Everham, but at the same time, they're not getting the information from teammates that they really need. They don't have a lot of opportunities to go to wind tunnels, to have chassis dynos, to have all the K-rigs that you need to be able to get this car figured out. So for them to come here and be able to make this race, I mean, that's pretty awesome.
Our old buddy Mark Tudor has went over there to help them this week and say they will race on Sunday. And then there was one, though, A.J. Allmendinger, the 84 car, third quickest in practice. He ran a 40.43, so he's looking for about a half a second. But I think you'll probably see this be a semi-conservative, but he really got off turn 2 good, Jeff. You could see the tracker continue to come down all the way down that back straightaway, picked up the throttle, and was able to stay in it.
All he's got to do, again, Larry, is just get through 3 and 4. Car's plenty fast to get himself in the race. But he is trying really hard to be a top 5 starter here at the Auto Club Speedway here in Fontana, California.
He's trying to land right between those 2 Hendrick cars. Let's see what he does. Second quickest, 40.07. Ends up between Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon. A.J. Allmendinger will start on the front row.
What do you think would have happened if he'd have been told, just go for it, instead of be conservative?
I think that was just right. That puts actually 2 of the go homers in the top 5. Allmendinger's second, and Patrick Carpentier is 5th in that 10 car. Great run. So Tony Raines, the 70 car, they will not race on Sunday afternoon.
So El Cajon, California native Jimmy Johnson wins the pole position here in his home state. The 12th driver to win a pole position at the Auto Club Speedway. We'll be right back.
Listen up, fantasy freaks. You're watching the Colts Pats while your man Jamal Lewis just scored 4 touchdowns. And I'll bet you didn't know. With DirecTV, you're alerted anytime your fantasy players score.
Track your fantasy players in real time, only on DirecTV.
It's Toyota's National Clearance Event, the perfect time to get an amazing deal on a new Camry. With Toyota Camry's low cost of ownership, reputation for legendary quality and reliability, not to mention its remarkably fuel-efficient 31 miles per gallon highway rating. It's no wonder Camry has been the #1 selling car in America for 10 out of the last 11 years. Hurry in. The Toyota National Clearance Event ends soon.
Rated everyone.
At TireRack.com, we don't just sell tires, we test them. On our test track and on real-world roads.
We stock nearly 1 million tires.
That's the largest selection anywhere. And Tire Rack delivers to you or thousands of our independent recommended installers, usually in just 2 business days. All this at prices that won't leave you flat. TireRack.com. Research, buy, deliver, install.
Fishing is war. Who wants to mess with Bill Dugan? Bring it on!
When it comes to competitive bass fishing, it's Bill versus Billy Ray, Bill Engvall, and Billy Ray Cyrus. Big Shot on DVD September 2nd.
The kids have been wanting to go to the safari theme park since last summer. So we used our City Cash Returns card to buy the tickets and stuff. It was great to get close to the animals. But not that close. Luckily, we used the cash we got back to help pay for some body work.
With your City Cash Returns card, earn unlimited cash back and get it mailed to you automatically. Whatever your story is, your City Cash Returns card can help you write it. Because City never sleeps.
An FX original series. Sons of Anarchy. Wednesday at 10 on FX.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
17th career pole for Jimmy Johnson. Hendrick Motorsports starts 1 and 3. A.J. Allmendinger just jumps into the middle of that Hendrick sandwich. Let's go to Randy Pemberton.
Well, we caught up with Jimmy Johnson, 4th pole of the season. Congratulations to you at a track I know that is near and dear to your heart. You live close by here.
Yeah, I grew up very close to this racetrack and raced a lot in this area. And I can't thank the people at Lowe's enough for letting me run the Jimmy Johnson Foundation on the car and doing some great pub for it by winning the pole. Hopefully we can back up a good performance on Sunday. So I was certainly excited about this, and it's also been a week of highs and lows. Matt Gefeller passed away, unfortunately, a tragic accident. Bob Gefeller is the head marketing guy for Lowe's, and thoughts and prayers with he and his family. And hopefully this will put a smile on the family's faces and everybody at Lowe's. You know, we're really our hearts are out for those guys. But great day, great performance. We worked hard on this car through all of practice. I made some good changes, picked up a lot of speed, and went out when it was awfully hot and put up a lap that stuck.
What do you think about coming up through the field if you were to start in the back? Suppose you get back there on Sunday. Will you be able to make your way up through the field? It looks like you guys are really working hard out there during practice driving these things.
Yeah, I really think so, and the reasons I think so is that it's a long race, and the track is really doing its toll on the tires. So you're going to have a lot of fall off. So if you have a good driving car and you're smart with your tires and know where to place yourself and not abuse them, I think you can work your way up through the field. So this is one of the tracks that it wouldn't hurt to start in the back.
Okay, Jimmy Johnson on the pole here, the 4th of the year, going to start from the front row in the Pepsi 500 on Sunday. Wendy?
AJ Allmendinger, he said, you would have thought I won the race, getting a kiss from his wife, a kiss from your mom. Congratulations. You, my friend, are starting from the front row.
That's pretty cool. You know, everybody at Red Bull's doing a great job. And, you know, I knew the lap that Jimmy put up, that was pretty fast. But, you know, I just wanted to put a solid lap in and be smooth and just get as good a starting spot as we could and make sure we made the race. So I'm happy we can see out the windshield with nobody in front of me. And it's a long race, so we just got to be smart about it.
So your best qualifying effort of this season, what kind of pressure are you going to have on you now? Because really, it's all about points. You're trying to get out of that go or go home pile.
Yeah, you know, there's no pressure. I mean, of course, you'd like to lead the first lap, get 5 points, but you know, it's 500 miles, and this race is going to change so much from the sunlight to the nighttime. I learned that last year. So I don't think there's a lot of pressure. We just got to be smart tomorrow on what we need to work on, be smooth about it, and in the race, just hopefully we got a good enough car we can stay up there the whole time.
All right, congratulations to AJ Allmendinger. He'll be starting on the outside of the front row for the first time in 2008.
Well, thank you, Wendy. Now the field is set for the Pepsi 500. We turn our attention now to the 2 practices tomorrow and then 500 miles here Sunday night.
And what I'm going to be watching, we're talking about Jimmy Johnson sitting on the pole, A.J. Allmendinger on the outside. And remember, he's trying to get to the top 35. But the battle back there for that 12th spot, when you think about we've got 500 miles, you've got Casey Kane who comes in here back in 14th. He's qualified 4th. You've got David Reagan just 12 points out of the top 12. That's 22nd, and the guys that he's chasing is Clint Boyer. He's going to start 31st. So that's the battle I think that we're going to be paying a lot of attention to when this green flag drops on Sunday.
Not me, brother. The battle I'm going to be watching is coming from the guys that are driving number 18 and number 99. We saw what happened at Bristol. I think this thing is going to continue on from now to the end of the year as far as those 2 drivers are concerned, Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards. I think that's where a lot of your battle is going to come from for the championships. And, oh, by the way, there's a guy that's starting on the pole. Don't forget Jimmy Johnson. He could be a spoiler in this whole championship run for a 3-peat.
He wants those bonus points.
You got it.
Have I mentioned this race has never been won from the pole?
Yeah, I believe you did a couple of times, matter of fact.
Let's take a look at the starting lineup. Jimmy Johnson hopes to be the first guy to pull that off.
Making history.
How about Dave Blaney? First top 10 start of 2008 there on row 4. Look at Gillette Evernham. 4th, 5th, and 6th.
And Eric Almirola, good run for the youngster from DEI. Kyle Busch, your points leader.
And when you take a look right there, Jamie McMurray, he's the highest qualifying Ford up there in row 7.
A.J. Allmendinger's teammate, Brian Vickers, a little bit further back. David Reagan just won't go away. He's a threat.
He won't go away. And his teammate, Carl Edwards, has been kind of like on a hot streak. You talking about a handful during qualifying. That's the reason why he's starting so far back.
See, Matt Kenseth, last time he went to Victory Lane was here in the spring of 2007, starting on row 19.
Kyle Petty makes career start number 825.
How about old Johnny Sauter in that group? Good to see those boys that they'll get to race on Sunday.
Couple of future racers in the infield.
Got to start somewhere.
We'll be right back.
He's picking up. Hello? Hi, Ryan. It's Chad.
Hey, Chad.
You know how we hooked it up so there's a circle for everyone?
Yeah, I chose the 20. It's sweet.
Well, we're canceling it. But Chad.
Everyone on the team loves my circle.
Whatever. You should probably just switch to one of the other guys.
Why spend more than you have to? Choose the circle that fits you best, and now add unlimited messaging to your circle with the new My Circle message pack, only from Alto Wireless.
Brian, we can't just leave him there.
Yes, we can.
Rated everywhere.
Listen up, fantasy freaks. You're watching the Colts Pats while your man Jamal Lewis just scored 4 touchdowns. And I'll bet you didn't know. With DirecTV, you're alerted anytime your fantasy players score.
Track your fantasy players in real time, only on DirecTV.
Flush out the old, pour in the new. Get Advance Auto Parts 50/50 antifreeze for just $6.98 a gallon. Sale ends August 30th. So whatever you're working on, Advance will help you keep the wheels turning.
No driver ever won a race without help.
No owner ever won a championship without a great team.
Now the NASCAR Foundation needs help from its greatest team member, you.
On September 11th, we're inviting all race fans to the track to support the NASCAR Foundation's annual Blood and Marrow Drive.
Donate blood and sign up for the National Marrow Donor Program Registry.
Help us earn the greatest victory of all.
Saving a life.
For more information, visit nascar.com/foundation.
Back at the Auto Club Speedway, Jimmy Johnson, the pole sitter for the Pepsi 500, the only driver not making the show, Tony Raines in the 70 car. Let's go to Wendy.
And Johnny Sauter is one of those guys that finally made his way in. 6th Cup start of the 2008 season. You picked up over a second and a half. That is a ton of speed. How did you find it?
I don't know. I mean, Mark Tudor and the guys just, we came here kind of close to what we had in Michigan, and we just really struggled, like you said. I mean, I think we were second slower than the slowest car, and I came in and I said, hey, we need to do something drastic, you know. So we ended up changing the right front spring like 800 pounds, and actually 1,200, I think it was. So just a huge effort by all the guys on the Fubar Dodge. I just can't thank John Carter and all the boys. You know, that's a huge pickup. So we're in the show. That's all that matters, and we'll just see what we got on Sunday.
Bittersweet for Johnny Sauter because, you guys, he's supposed to be in the 70 car next week. The guy he sent home today here at the Auto Club Speedway. Controversy.
He's in the show.
That is interesting. You know what also is interesting is Ford has won 7 of 16 races here, and the top qualifying Ford is Jamie McMurray back in 13.
Now that's a nugget.
That's a nugget.
That's a nugget right there.
And I didn't even get handed a sticky note on that one.
That was hard.
You need one.
17th career pole for that guy, El Cajon, California's Jimmy Johnson. Thanks for being with us here for NASCAR Sprint Cup Series qualifying.
Did you tell me that nobody's ever won the pole here?
I think that's correct.
That man's going to try to change that stat, and your nugget will be different next year.
Different nugget. NASCAR Nationwide Series practice next.
Welcome to the San Bernardino Valley in California. It's time for NASCAR Nationwide Series final practice at the Auto Club Speedway. Folks are packed into the infield in what has been a very warm day here at this 2-mile oval. It's been an exciting day, and speed has been with you all day long. Hello, everybody. I'm Bob Dillner. Alongside of me, Phil Parsons. But Phil, for the NASCAR Nationwide Series drivers and teams, this practice very critical. We talked about the warm temperatures earlier on. Well, this practice a little more indicative of what the race is going to be like.
It really is. This is a little more representative of the time that they will be racing. They will be racing at 7 o'clock local time tomorrow night. Obviously, this practice taking place at 5:30 local time. The earlier practice was at 2 o'clock, which was more indicative of what the qualifying was going to be. Kevin Harvick only ran 4 laps in that first practice session of an hour and a half, and David Ruderman only ran 3 laps. So I think you'll see these guys make a lot more laps to try to get their race setups right. right.
And Phil, right now we have a heck of a battle brewing in the NASCAR Nationwide Series for the championship. Right now, Clint Boyer on top of the point standings, but breathing down his neck are a couple of guys, including that guy right there in second, Brad Keselowski, with a big win at Bristol last week.
What an incredible season Brad Keselowski is having this year. Last year, you know, we didn't know anything about Brad Keselowski. He went to Memphis in a truck race, did an incredible job in a substitute role. Dale Jr. tapped him on the shoulder and said, I want you to drive my car. They went through some growing pains, and this year they put it all together with 2 big wins, one at Nashville and then one at Bristol last week.
We're taking a look at the guy who is the leader of the NASCAR Nationwide Series standings right now, Clint Boyer in that BB&T number 2 machine. And earlier today in the first practice, second quick, but this team didn't seem like they had the perfect race car earlier in practice.
Well, it was so slick. All the drivers were talking about, Bob, how slick this racetrack was here. And I know a lot of the guys I talked to said no grip front or rear. It was very, very warm today, but it's still about 200 degrees cooler than it was last year. You remember last year was the temperatures upwards of 110 degrees, but still the racetrack's pretty slick. But as we approach nighttime, the racetrack will get a little bit more grip, and I think these guys are going to be a little bit happier with these cars in this practice session.
And I think you take a look at this onboard right here, and you can see, a little wiggle by Clint Boyer. Some big-time trouble there, Phil.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see, especially that's not what Clint Boyer wanted to see, as we see Joe Logano and the 20 car able to go by him right now. So, obviously, Clint Boyer, you know, and the thing about these guys is, you know, they've got to feel like this racetrack is going to tighten up. So they're probably going to be so loose right now early on. Let's take a look back at Clint Boyer from outside his car going through turns 1 and 2 right now. He's back in the throttle, actually in the corner. You see that little wiggle right there. Now that doesn't look like much from outside the car, but from inside the car, that's huge.
And that's exactly what he and his teammates have been going through in the Cup Series and the Nationwide Series here today. A little bit loose coming off the corner.
Yeah, this racetrack right now is, you know, it's lost a lot of grip. This racetrack now is over 10 years old, so with the warm temperatures that we have today, you know, it's lost a lot of grip.
But the one thing I was noting as you take a look at Clint Boyer going around this racetrack right now is you don't see the bright sunshine. Okay, the sun is not beating down on that pavement. Earlier on today in the pits, we were measuring the temperature of the racetrack, 125 degrees. That's pretty darn hot. Right now, a little cooler. Is it better for the driver? Do they get a better feel for things?
I think so, because they're going to be racing at night, essentially at night. They will start probably in the daylight somewhat, but they will be racing for the most part at night. So the racetrack is obviously going to cool off when the sun goes down. So again, going to be more indicative this practice session of what they're going to have tonight.
Third in points. Third in this morning's practice session, Carl Edwards in the number 60 machine out on the racetrack. Just behind him, look at that, his arch rival, his arch nemesis, Kyle Busch in the 18 machine.
Yeah, Carl said, no thanks. No thanks. We'll continue this rivalry another time.
And remember, we want to remind everybody they are on a 6th race probation from that incident last week at the Bristol Motor Speedway in the Sprint Cup Series. But that was exciting.
It was. And I'm not really sure what probation means, actually.
Be careful.
I mean, I think it's a very broad term, yes. You know, but, I mean, obviously that was very exciting for the fans, and what a great job by Carl last week, and what a terrific race between Carl and Kyle Busch.
It was exciting. It's always exciting at the Bristol Motor Speedway on the High Bank half mile, but it's going to be exciting tomorrow night here for the NASCAR Nationwide Series at the Auto Club Speedway. Right now, Joey Logano back on top of practice.
The kids have been wanting to go to the safari theme park since last summer. So we used our City Cash Returns card to buy the tickets and stuff. It was great to get close to the animals, but not that close. Luckily, we used the cash we got back to help pay for some body work.
With your City Cash Returns card, earn unlimited cash back and get it mailed to you automatically. Whatever your story is, your City Cash Returns card can help you write it. Because City never sleeps.
A lot of people ask, what makes using Quikrete so easy? Well, the secret's in the bag. Quikrete Concrete. It's what America's made of.
After years of research and proven results on the racetrack, Z-Max Micro Lubricant made its way to the professional mechanic. Today, it's the only micro lubricant product available to everyone. Z-Max Micro Lubricant is used with your favorite motor oil. It soaks into metal, resulting in better fuel mileage, smoother engine performance, and extended engine life. Z-Max, 60 years of reliable, proven performance. To purchase, go to zmax.com or get it today at these fine retailers.
The beautiful San Bernardino Mountains just beyond the California Speedway, or excuse me, the Auto Club Speedway here in Fontana, California. We are here on speed with the NASCAR Nationwide Series final practice, and we'll take a look at the Papa John's track description here. We know it's 2 miles, but how does this racetrack, how is it tricky, Phil?
Well, you know, it's a sister racetrack to Michigan. As you can see, the turns are banked 14 degrees, which is a little bit less than what Michigan has. And this racetrack really doesn't drive like Michigan. We see a lot of guys at Michigan, you know, when they run a qualifying lap, basically run the second or third lane up. Here at California Speedway, it's typically right on the bottom of the racetrack. It's the fast way around. It's more of an even banking up and down the bank. But a great racetrack. We've seen some very, very competitive races here, and hopefully we'll have another one here tomorrow night.
Also joining us today on speed are Wendy Venturini and Randy Pemberton. We'll go to Randy first.
Thanks, Bob. Clint Boyer just pulling out of the garage area let you know that they were very loose off. Clint said, you got to do something to this. So they went ahead and stiffened up the left rear spring. Dan Deeringoff got him back out of the racetrack. It took them less than 2 minutes. Let's look at the 88 car up here. They've got theirs on scales. Keselowski said just cannot keep it down on the bottom of the racetrack. So they went to a right front spring change. And Phil, I have to ask you too, and we'll get to this in a second, but just the bottom line is anytime you go on scales, that's got to be difficult. We'll get to that in a second. Now to Wendy Venturini.
Thank you, Randy. And some crew chief changes that we want to continue to follow here with Joe Gibbs Racing in the Nationwide garage. Doug Hewitt, who was on the 18 car last week, has switched over to the 20 car as Joey Logano pulls in. And filling in at the 18 Nationwide car is now Mike Sibley. Now, Mike was with the Camping World East Series when Joey was racing for Joe Gibbs Racing. So there is some common ground. Now, the question is, what happened to Wally Brown? He was the R&D crew chief that was here last week with Joey Logano. Well, he's so busy with the Cup schedule trying to prepare for Joey Logano's Cup debut next week in Richmond. He's back at the shop preparing. Joey Logano pulling in. Keep in mind, guys, he will be in the 02 Cup car next week at Richmond. It is his Cup debut. It's going to be in a Home Depot paint scheme, orange and white, flip-flop reverse paint scheme from what he'll be driving for the 2009 season. But today, here at Auto Club Speedway, Joey Logano said he feels pretty good. It's a little snug in 1 and 2, a little bit looser off, but that bump in 1 and 2 is really making Joey loose, and that's when the car gets upset when he's hitting that bump. Doug Hewitt, Joey Logano working on some things they can try during this practice session.
Well, Wendy, they call them the best thing since sliced bread. But, Phil, I want to get back to something that Randy Pemberton was talking about, the 88 machine for Brad Keselowski going after the championship here. But he's up on scales in the middle of this practice session, the final practice session. What's going on?
Well, being on scales is not necessarily that bad a thing, but if they go change a right front spring like what Randy was talking about, that's huge. Because with these coil bind setups, some people coil bind the right front spring, which means obviously they want the coils to touch together and keep that attitude all the way around the racetrack. Some people do the left front, but if they're changing a front spring, that's pretty major. That means they're either swapping from side to side as far as the coil bind deal, or maybe they be going conventional, which I would doubt. So that would be pretty huge if they're changing a right front spring, because typically the front springs they put into the shop will be the front springs that they will run all weekend.
Well, they got to do something right now, because they're 23rd quick on the speed charts right now for Brad Keselowski and that Navy machine. There is the number 40 machine out on the racetrack for Brian Clausen, making another start. He raced here earlier this year, and Brian's one of those guys that hasn't been around the last couple of weeks. Dario Franchitti has been racing that race car, but he's gone back to the USAC ranks, and I think he won one at Kokomo Speedway there about 3 weeks ago there in a USAC car. So congratulations to Brian, but looking pretty good out here at the Auto Club Speedway.
Yeah, Brian had, I think, a 33rd or 34th place finish here first time around, but he had a great top 10 run in Daytona with his first time this season. So he's one of those guys, one of these young guys that has a lot of talent. Again, as you mentioned, open wheel background. We see so many of the guys come from the open wheel ranks, but this is somebody that Chip Ganassi is really high on.
But how difficult is it for Brian Clausen? We said he hasn't been in the car for a couple of weeks now. To get your rhythm, is it difficult to do just every so often in the Nationwide Series?
It is. I think if you do more of a week-to-week thing, then you keep that rhythm. And this is a racetrack that, Brian may have been in a car on a short track, maybe at an ORP or something like that. Then you come here to California Speedway, where we see speeds upwards of 190 miles an hour entering the corner. But Brian's a very quick study, so it won't take him long to get back up the pace.
You're a smart man. His last start was at ORP. Brian Clausen, 20th quick right now. But there's the man that knows a thing or two about winning in the Nationwide Series here at the Auto Club Speedway. Jeff Burton, only a couple of former winners in the field, and Jeff Burton is one of them.
Yeah, that really surprised me. As much success as Matt Kenseth has had here over the years, and he's not here running this race. Greg Biffle's won here, I think, 3 times. He's not in this race, but we've got Jeff Burton and Carl Edwards as our only 2 former winners here.
And so far, Jeff Burton, 6th quick on the clock, but a big announcement this week. He is going to share that ride next year with Stephen Light, and Stephen has appeared in an RCR Nationwide car a couple times this year.
He has, and Stephen actually ran that 21 car some earlier this season until they disbanded that team, or I guess put that team on the shelf. I think it's going to come back in Richmond with Austin Dillon, Richard's grandson, Mike Dillon's son, Mike and Tina Dillon, so they will resurrect that 21 team. But great to see Stephen Light, a guy with so much talent, won that race last year at Kentucky, the Nationwide race, and very deserving, very fast every time he gets in one of these cars.
And you mentioned Austin Dillon running the NASCAR Camping World East Series this year. So congratulations to him on a big victory earlier this season. But Jeff Burton rounding the racetrack right now. Joe Logano still on top with Clint Boyer, Carl Edwards, Mike Bliss, Kyle Busch rounding out the top 5.
This Thursday on an all-new Wrecked, when trouble strikes.
It's going to be for a rollover tractor trailer. It's fully loaded.
Go, go! It hits hard.
We flipped 2 rotators. We're screwed.
It went from an easy call to a complicated call real quick. I should be able to handle anything.
The load feels heavier than what they said it was. My truck is not working.
Wrecked, life in the crash lane. An all-new episode, Thursday night, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. Exclusively on Speed.
Rated everywhere. At the Ace Labor Day sale, buy these Ace brand paint supplies on sale through Monday for just $7.99 each and get an extra $3 mail-in rebate on each. Or Ace Royal Paint starting at $19.99 a gallon now with an extra $5 mail-in rebate. Ace, the helpful place.
A J.G. Wentworth success story.
Well, I had a nasty car accident, and following my lawsuit, I ended up receiving a structured settlement.
Frank had a long payout with a small check each month.
Well, it wasn't long before bills started to pile up. Credit cards, electric, car payments.
Frank turned to J.G. Wentworth.
They helped me.
It's your money. Use it when you need it.
Call 866-454-5990, 866-454-5990.
If it's not connected to an HD receiver from Comcast, your spiffy new HD TV isn't. It's not HD TV without an HD receiver. Get one from Comcast to start watching HD channels like these, plus HD on demand. Let's review. Ordinary TV or real HD TV from Comcast.
Hey race fans, have you spent countless laps sitting on your couch hoping your driver will make the chase? Well, now you can experience a chase of your own and take a shot at winning $5,000. Log on to speedtv.com now. Keyword Fantasy Cup for the chase for the Fantasy Cup. And don't miss out because that's going to be an awesome deal, $5,000. You going to register, Phil?
Absolutely.
Well, let's take a look. A lot of conditions here. We talk about the heat, but also the glare for some of these drivers. We have twilight races, and the glare can be a big-time concern for these teams.
It really can, and a lot of guys will put a lot of tape on the inside of the windshield. NASCAR will not allow you to put any tape on the outside of the windshield. They make you put it on the inside of the windshield during the race if it gets bad. And you can see right here, there's a little bit, I think it's a little bit hazy, Bob, so I think that's going to help the situation. If it was bright sun shining, I think we would see some issues.
Kyle Busch currently 5th quick here in NASCAR Nationwide Series final practice. And of course, Kyle has been awesome to watch in the Nationwide Series, the Sprint Cup Series, the Craftsman Truck Series all year long. 17 total wins this year.
He won at Milwaukee last Sunday. He raced Saturday night, obviously finished second to Carl Edwards, and then went to Milwaukee and won the Matt Kenseth race.
Yeah, he finished ahead of Matt Kenseth in the ASA Midwest Tour. It was an awesome race, a super late model race. There's the 33 car for Kevin Harvick, and he has ran this race 11 times, finished in the top 10 of those 11 times. He's one that we're definitely going to be watching tomorrow night here.
He has 6 top 5 finishes of his 11 starts. He actually leads the series in top 5 and top 10 finishes here at the Auto Club Speedway.
Right now,
look at that glare right there.
Wow, look at that. From a driver's standpoint, I mean, how are you trying to decipher that?
Well, I think he would, he may have had a dark shield, so that's going to help that. It's going to be a little bit deceiving from when we're looking at from the roof camera. That's with no shading. And Kevin will have probably a dark shield on his helmet, so that'll make the situation a little bit better. But nonetheless, it's very difficult to see getting down in turn number 3.
Ready to have more on Harvick?
Yeah, if you look at the lap times between Harvick and Logano, Harvick has not been out on new tires. Logano started this practice on new tires. However, since you look at the practice times, Harvick has moved up a few spots, but he was saying on the radio the only one faster than him on the same number of laps of tires was Joey Logano. So that's what they're using in comparison. Right now, Kevin Harvick is a little bit loose off of one. Crew Chief Jason Meeks just reminded the team, we got to get out there faster than we have been, guys. The adjustments they're making in this happy hour aren't happening fast enough for Crew Chief Jason Meeks and driver Kevin Harvick.
Hey, Phil Parsons, I'm going to do my best Steve Burns impersonation here. I got a nugget. You want a nugget?
Yeah, I want a nugget.
Kevin Harvick, we talked about his success here in the Nationwide Series. He's only won here once. They came back in 1998 in the West Series.
I know it. I was looking at that when I saw all the top 5s and the top 10s with no wins. And Wendy made a great point here. That's what everyone compares themselves against. Now, Kevin only ran 4 laps of practice in the first session, so more than likely those are the tires that he went out on for this session. So he probably had newer tires than some of the guys that ran 12 or 14 laps on their tires. But we know that Logano actually gets an extra set of tires. All the rookies here will actually get an extra set of tires, which they will have to turn into NASCAR after this practice session. So Joey went on the new tires, and right now his fast lap is over a half a second faster than Clint Bowyer's fast lap, who's second.
Joey Logano with a fast time of 40.89. Clint Bowyer second with a 41.45. That's incredible.
It really sounds like tires are going to be an issue here as far as new tires, and I think that will, we saw that in the Sprint Cup Series qualifying. Probably 90% of the cars ran their fastest lap on the first lap, even if they attempted a second lap.
See Mike Wallace on the racetrack in that Geico number 7 car. Mike Wallace 17th quick on the racetrack right now in this final practice session. And Mike's a guy that, he's had an up and down year. Not very consistent, but he's had some good points, some bad points. He's somebody that really needs to hit a home run here at the end of the season.
He really does, and they've been very, very competitive. He's a lot more competitive this season than he was last season. But, I think he had a great car somewhere. Was at Kentucky where he ended up finishing 3rd and maybe looked like he had a car capable of winning that race, and had some trouble on pit road and fought his way back to 3rd. So he's definitely had a good race car. He's had some bad luck this season, but I know he's fighting for a top 10 in the point standings, and maybe he can put it together here tomorrow night.
And you have a lot of guys right now, if you take a look from 6 on back in the standings, a lot of guys battling to get into that top 10. One of those guys was just behind him just a second ago, the number 11 machine for Jason Keller. But taking a look at Mike Wallace's car right here, Phil Parsons, it just doesn't look like he's got the bite that he needs coming up off the corner.
Yeah, again, a lot of the guys were talking about a lack of grip, and I think a lot of that was due to the track temperature. Now, we know, we just got a report during our commercial break that the track temperature now is about 107 degrees. It was 125 degrees in the first practice session, so that's a pretty huge difference right there.
A driver change right here for the number 81 machine. That's Kevin Hamlin. DJ, not the Kevin Hamlin that is crew chief in the Sprint Cup Series, but DJ Kennington usually the pilot there for the 81, and now we have Kevin Hamlin actually going in that. He's a former Southwest Tour champion, and he's under the Ganassi fold. And this is one very talented kid that's not getting the opportunity maybe he deserves.
Absolutely. I think he's done well in the truck starts he's had in the nationwide starts he's had over the year, but not enough reps. He's just not getting enough reps right now. And the reason DJ Kennington's not in the car because he runs the NASCAR Canada Tour, the Canadian Tire Tour full-time, and he's running a race somewhere in Canada.
Carl Edwards, third quick. What's going on with him, Randy?
Well, Drew Blickensurfer just made a few adjustments. Very, very quickly, they came in, changed two front shocks, I should say, took a round a wedge out of the car, said it was just awfully tight off, from the middle off. And that's pretty amazing when they start dialing these things in. Third on the board right now. But this is all about wins for Carl Edwards right now. He's really got to make up some ground in the points, and they're really not far off. The car's just fine-tuning it, a little bit tight off, so they're working on it.
Phil, I got a question because this is the second time we've seen this in this practice session. Carl Edwards and Kyle Busch running together, and the second time that Carl Edwards pulls off. Is there some intimidation going on?
No, I think that's coincidental, actually. Yeah. Obviously, the 18 of Kyle was a lot faster than Carl right there, so once the 18 got up beside him, then Carl pulled over and came down that pit road.
Kyle does like to play with some guys.
Oh, yeah. yeah. Carl does, too, though.
Yes, he does. Joey Logano on top of the speed charts here. We still have more Nationwide Series practice coming up from the Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California.
Monday on 101 Cars You Must Drive.
Street racing. Check it out. That's right, the old Deuce. How many clowns can you fit in a smart car? Right now, I'd say one.
101 Cars You Must Drive. Monday night, 9 Eastern, only on Speed.
This is Hall of Famer Dan Marino for United Steel Building. If you're looking for a warehouse, church, shop, barn, hangar, office, or riding arena, then you need a custom-made, pre-engineered United Steel Building. They ship nationwide and include the drawings you need for your permits. United Steel buildings are virtually maintenance-free. No termites, no painting, no wood rot, and less money to insure. Call 866-73-STEEL. That's 866-73-STEEL. Call now.
Fishing is war. Who wants to mess with Bill Dugan? Bring it on!
When it comes to competitive bass fishing, it's Bill versus Billy Ray. Bill Engvall and Billy Ray Cyrus. Bait Shot on DVD September 2nd.
Rated everywhere.
Jimmy? Casey? Dale? Yeah, man. Let's rock.
When you're Hendrick Motorsports, every race is a battle. And every win comes with Q Motor Oil technology. And there's a Q horsepower specially designed to help maximize the power in your car. Unleash all your horses.
Sunday on Speed is a Labor Day spectacle as NASCAR's newest rivalry takes center stage in Hollywood. NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot. Live coverage from California begins Sunday at 5 Eastern. NASCAR on Speed. Be there. And one thing I'm waiting for on NASCAR Race Day is a real deal with David Reagan and Wendy Venturini.